No, I understand. It was wise of you to bring them here, Count. They'll receive the best treatment in all of Ustalar. Early signs of bleaching. This is the response to stimulus. An Iron Fang veteran? I think I recognize this. What brought him here? Now, for their admission records, may I have their names?
Briarstone Asylum has been shrouded in a yellow fog for days. None of you, since 4 of you awoken and since 1 of you was cast into this, has seen any hint of the outside world. At this point, it'd be easy to forget anything beyond these walls ever even existed. It is a mist we have done our best to avoid in our time here. Peering briefly out the front door once. Quick, very short forays out the front door, through the courtyards, but never intentionally exposing ourselves to whatever it is in the beyond until right now. Because as we start today's session, Trey strode out from the camp, the ramshackle series of tents strung up from bed sheets and bits of broken furniture. The campfires blazing on the tile floor. He walked out through the ruined wall directly into the fog. MD, Cammy, and EZ all kind of hurrying to catch up after him. Marius taking up a bit of a post at what's left of the barricade itself. Trey's heading out to deal with the problem.
It's right there. Why not?
Much of this asylum is controlled by a gang of ghouls. Gang of ghouls you have pulled into a war with the cult that's taken up residence here in the cafeteria. A war that you're sort of playing on both sides of. As you walk out into the fog, very edge of Marius's vision, you go far enough, and this courtyard is large enough. It's huge. It's a massive yard. You can barely even see the tiny little pinpoints of light that are the burning campfires back behind you. You are in stuff. This field, surrounded by nothing but wilted grass, silhouettes of trees, and the fog. Now, Marcus, you're banned.
What? Sad.
Because Corey rolled a d6, and that's what he rolled.
All right.
So
Friendship
take
with
that.
Corey.
Vix old banned dirt, but Jen fixed it immediately and put the bless back. Scottins Dakota, better start this off right for MD, the hero points. Take one to the table there.
I don't even know where they're at.
And Sam Fox.
He's so unused to
Oh
it.
no, that made me feel sad.
So much love right now.
Sounds so rattled.
And then Saiyan Fox 10, that last sound we heard. Watch the last episode. Know what we're walking into. Let's give the party a better chance. A hero point for Easy.
Yes.
A hero point for MD. Giving this man 2. And the ranger whose name I can't remember. Sorry. It's okay. Marius is new to this.
Thank you.
He's only been a member of the party for long.
Names are hard.
Names are hard. Names are very hard. I have a spreadsheet of NPC names in front of me. It's my adventure. I'm the one running it, and I have to look at this list very regularly.
Oh my gosh.
Oh! And get that Derpo a hero point, but also bane him again. That's a new
All things in balance.
justice in the universe. Bane, also hero pointed. Probably, pretty good outcome on the end there.
The Bane will be gone in maybe a minute.
As you walk out of the fog, MD right behind you, Cammy hurrying easy, not quite as quick. Marius just barely seeing them fade away. You saw the movement of shapes in front of you. You saw what had to be these ghouls at the edge of the fog, massing, moving about. And as you take the field here, like a general leading his army from the front, the shapes start to come into view. Everybody is going to roll me some initiative. It's time to fight.
Can I use Intimidate?
No.
I wouldn't let you roll Intimidate for initiative. You are just walking right up to them. Absolutely, I'll give it to
I
you.
want to re-roll it.
Okay, watching.
Thank you for the first hero point I got because I don't.
That's better.
Can I
Maybe I
since
should
we're in
reroll
this
mine.
thick fog? Can I try to like sneak a little bit?
I would absolutely let you creep through the fog. You are pretty concealed by the mist here. For sure you can do that.
Get them out now.
Don't matter.
This Nat 20 sponsored by Vixel.
Marius.
11 plus 9 for 20.
20, solid MD.
3 plus 9, 12.
That beats the ghouls.
28.
28! What'd you roll?
Nat 20.
Box.
Oh, man's ready. Cammy.
I got a 1 on the dice, or 10.
Oh, that doesn't beat the
Yeah.
ghouls.
Oh.
We found where the ghouls are. Easy.
I would change the 1, but I don't know what I want to do yet, so I don't want to go first.
That's fair. This just buys you time to think.
I
Yeah,
need some
2 on the
time.
die, also a 10.
Who wants to go first? Easy, Cammy.
For you?
Okay,
Easy.
you go first.
Yes.
Trey, as you come out into the mist, you see these shapes start to take the more solid forms of 4 ghouls, all just waiting, sort of spread around as you stride into their midst, not clearly visible till you're barely 15, 20 feet away. But as you come out, the 4 of them all look like they are ready to spring forth, ready to take this opportunity to pounce. But they're a little cautious of a natural 20 intimidate initiative check. They're a little reticent.
Walking out like I don't care they're here.
Yeah, that's not a reaction they're used to getting from the cult. And they hesitate. And you very much go first.
I am going to rush forward with Fleet now and get behind the top middle one to snagging strike.
Okay, you're just going
Yeah,
to
right there.
rush into the back line, rush around past them, out of sight of your allies. The
Just
rest
calling
of you,
out, rush them, they're not
then you
ready.
see Trey just take off. He's gone.
And snagging strike as I come up behind him, which I will re-roll because I don't like 3s.
Grab this guy.
I want to grab him. That's a 5, which honestly is not terrible. That's 17.
He's baned. He's very not blessed. If he was blessed, that would hit, but he was baned with his hero point.
Wait, you know what I can do again?
What?
Snagging strike.
You can absolutely snagging strike.
That'll hit. That's a 14 on the die, so 21.
21 will hit, yes.
Yeah, so snagging strike. This
Now
one,
you're blessed.
well, this one is now flat-footed,
All right.
and hopefully someone will capitalize on that.
And it does. That strike still does strike
Yes,
damage, right?
I'm grabbing the dice.
Okay. I was just like,
I was confused.
Double check. I'm like, hold on, I'm pretty sure it does a little more.
No,
damage.
I was picking the d20 up, moving it out of the tray, so it's not in the way for me to roll 16 damage.
16.
Slap.
That's a pretty solid hit. And not enough to cleave right through one of these ghouls, but honestly, not terribly far off of it. Marius, back at the barricade here. You hear Trey call out, but through the fog, you can just barely make out MD at the front of his pack. You lose sight of Trey entirely as he disappears.
Can I see the ghouls?
Definitely no. You can see about 20, maybe 30 feet, which is 5 to 6 tiles on this map. So they are far enough out in the mist that you can hear Trey lunging forward. You can hear his sword cutting through the air. You can hear ghouls yelling.
Then I guess I'll move up to be basically next to Cammy. I think that's enough to be able to see them.
That would
That's-
be enough that they would. You move up to there, rushing forward. You can see them. It would be concealed at this range, which just means if you're taking your shot, you'd first roll a d20, just a flat check. You need a 5 up to be able to hit them because they're sort of not fully realized shapes. They're a little obscured.
Okay. In that case, I'll just stay there and I'll do hunt prey on the third one down.
Third one down is
So the-
randomly selected.
Yeah, the bottom middle one.
Right.
So hunt prey on them, and then I'll pull out my bow and do a hunted shot. Why not,
Okay.
Why not?
So
do
give me the
that?
flat check first.
That's a 2. I do not see him.
So yeah, I mean, you see him. It's just it's hard to tell exactly where you're trying to aim. That's going to go wide. Give me the flat check for the second one.
Okay. That's an 11.
So now give me the attack roll. That one's on target.
Okay, so only an attack roll for the second one.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the first, basically, you have to roll twice to hit a concealed target. The first is just you need at least a 5 to get in there, and then you attack roll, or it just misses because you don't have a clear view of them.
Do I still do the multiple penalty?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you
so
still shoot it, it just misses before you get to that step.
It's a 9 on the die plus then 5, so 14.
14 is going to just whiz by. Vixla ran at channel points, Bane Derp again, SMH. But as he's firing,
Oh no, I used all. Of it.
move, hunt, and shoot. MD Trey just takes off out of view. You can just barely make out the shapes brawling at the edge of your vision.
Following his lead, I'm gonna quickly say, watch Cammy, watch Easy Marius, and then I'm gonna go straight for the one closest to me on the bottom. Since I've acted before him and I did use stealth for my initiative, surprise attack.
Ooh, surprise attack indeed.
My
Out of the
weapons-
fog.
My weapons are still out, so there's the club and the dagger. I forgot what that word was for a second.
It happens to the best of us. Happens to me like 19 times a session. Don't worry, you're good.
We're gonna lead with the club.
All right.
With
Twin
8
feint.
on the. He's already flat-footed.
He's surprise attack.
Oh,
He's already
yeah, just
flat-footed.
slapping.
So 8, so 17 total.
17 absolutely hit his flat-footed.
So for a total of 8 damage,
Okay.
and then coming in with the dagger for the exact same roll. 18 minus
13. No, 14 because it's agile.
and a +1 dagger. So
Oh, so 15. You're blessed for 16. Is the
Yes.
flat-footed of one of these ghouls here? Don't ever say that. I would say +1s don't matter. Pathfinder, they do so much stuff.
they do. For a total of 9 damage, as it's just a quick knock on the head and a stab right into his stomach.
And as you come in with this 1-2 punch here, laying in this bottommost ghoul about as effectively as Trey had laid into the first, you have a hand just kind of grabbing at the clothing, just clinging to this ghoul. They're wearing patience gowns, jackets, cobbled together outfits, just like the rest of you are.
And there is
They-
no check to break out.
Right, they haven't. They just moves away, right?
Yes.
They haven't. I'm just for descriptive purpose. Don't have anything. They kind of look adorned, much like you were when you first started this adventure, grabbing what you could out of the laundry. Notably, of these 4 ghouls, none of these are clades. None of you see any sign of clades. But as the 2 on the north that Trey has engaged with turn around to try to face you, the northernmost one quickly turns to pounce, and as he crouches down, you see him crouch and then kind of shunt to the side and crouch very quickly until his face is absolutely pounded into the ground. He collapses. He crumples. He is obliterated. As out of nowhere, a humongous ladle
Yes!
crashes down into the side of his head and just pastes him into the dirt. The one you have a grip on still, as you are now blessed by Optimistic Weasel,
Thank you.
is perfectly happy to stay close. He is going to turn, and he is going. You've got a hold of him. He's going to try to get a hold of you and just get his teeth into you. 24 to bite.
Just a hit.
Regular hit. It's going to be 10 points of piercing damage. As he really bites down and gets a pretty good chunk of you, you know you're making me a fortitude save.
Yeah, 14.
With a 14, as he bites down, you would feel this same effect I described. I believe it was MD. It was you again last week, wasn't it?
It was me.
It was you that got
It was
paralyzed
me.
last week. Oh yeah, we did his backwards style.
Yeah.
That I described to MD last week. He bites you and you feel that sharp pain at the site, but you feel the rest of your body just kind of lock up as your muscles freeze. You are paralyzed. And he's going to take this opportunity, as he's kind of got you there, to just rip and tear with his claws. Swinging one claw for a 14 to hit.
Not even
It's not going to hit, but it
flat-footed.
is going to bane you again. Vixel's really determined that you should be baned today. And a
The tides have
second...
really turned in that particular.
Yeah, this is the one pumping you full of hero points.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Oh, nothing.
Dirt swing, absolutely, definitely not going to land. Flailing into you, really just trying to readjust and confirm her grip on you. The south end here, MD lays into one of these ghouls. She doesn't... She takes these 2 hits, she stumbles, she almost drops. She bares her teeth and hisses and flings herself back up at you. The other ghoul next to her turns and sees the now outnumbered fight on the north end and immediately springs across the field to throw himself at this dwarven cook and immediately engages her in battle, leaving all of you in these little 1v1 encounters. But this woman is going to try to bite you. Ooh. 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 That's a 20.
20?
That's a 20.
It just hits.
That's a 20 on the thing that I
Oh,
rolled.
that
And then
just
there's
hits.
math after that.
It does
but,
just hit.
just hit.
It is real good. It's okay. I can low roll damage. I mean,
Hefty R.
that's true. Honestly, you definitely saw the effects of your Barkskin potion. That first scuffle was very short-lived. It's going to be 14 points of piercing damage. So with your Barkskin, honestly, that crit only doing slightly more than the regular hit had done to Trey. And I'm going to need you to give me a fortitude save.
Famously good at these. A 15 on the die.
Yeah, okay. Good on that one. Give me a second fortitude save.
2?
Oh, you're good.
I
Never
already-
mind.
I
No,
already
yeah,
have
that
the-
doesn't. No, you're good.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. After getting such a solid bite in on this first one, she is really just going to bear her down with her jaws, trying to feel like she's ripping a chunk.
I just threw my arm out and caught her mouth with my arm.
And you're able to fend her off as she continues this attack. And as you kind of push her back, she's just going to swipe wildly with a claw. Nah. And that third attack's not good. Wildly flailing ghouls. Multiple attack penalty goes both ways. They also are taking the -5 every time they attack. And the wild flailing only works as well as it does. Easy. As you can just barely see, you probably can't even really make out Trey's fight or the dwarven woman. You probably hear the crunch, the solid wooden bonk of a ladle connecting with a very bony skull. But you can't see much, but just a
Worth it.
mass of fighting over there. You would hear this, and then immediately that would be replaced by a ringing in your ears as a thunderclap so loud none of you would even really register the sound of the storm itself so much as just a cut of all the audio. Silence for a moment and this tinny ringing. I need everybody to make me a fortitude save.
Sometime it giveth, sometime it taketh away.
13.
What?
Never mind. You were
13?
saying? I said 13.
Okay, 13,
13 on the die, 19.
16.
16. Thunder outside.
3 on the die for 12.
All right, Marius, Easy, and MD. This ringing is real subtle, and it's the only thing that you hear. The sounds of the storm, the sounds of combat, the screaming, gnashing cries of the ghouls have fallen away entirely. The three of you are deafened. And so too does the ghoul that's fighting MD. As you push her back and she swipes at you, you see clearly the same effect on her. She puts her hands up to her ears for a brief moment before trying to refocus on you. She looks like she took it pretty hard as well. Up in the tray fight, this is this is a big boy encounter. Everyone up there is fine. But both MD and his opponent are deaf as well. Easy.
Okay.
Actual.
Yeah,
actually.
Man, Sirenscape's pulling overtime. That sounds
Yeah,
like
right?
it's real. It's
outside of that
incredibly
giant
immersive
speakers.
thunder.
Okay. That was... I can tell that was just a storm. It wasn't some weird creature.
I mean, it was ear splitting, but it did seem like just an incredible thunderclap.
Okay. It's a good battlefield ambiance. So I'm just gonna, being deaf and probably very loud, just be like, you better watch out, Glades. We're a storm of blades. We'll cut off your hand and we'll tie it on our neck band, and then you'll never be able to play charades.
Roll me a D. Beautiful. Roll me a D20.
Okay. It's a 4. What do I add?
Nothing. So
Get so wrecked.
the
dude.
bardic
Oh
performance
my
here,
gosh.
your almost limericks, your rhymes, they are spells. They are magic. And while Easy is amazing at putting them together on the fly, in order for that magic to work, it's like Dr. Elborn said, you must have learned this somewhere. It is actually quite precise. And that's what it sounds like he's saying. But what you hear is, Clyde, you better be afraid! We're a storm of blades! And there is no magic behind it. You can't hear yourself in tune correctly. The spell fails. When you are deaf, you have a failure chance to doing anything with an auditory trait or a verbal component because you can't hear it to make sure it comes out right.
Oh no. I'm tone deaf.
You're regular deaf. That's worse.
Pitch.
That does take the action to spell does fail.
Okay. Well. Wait, is thunder an auditory or visual effect?
You cannot counter performance to thunder.
Darn.
Who says?
That was it's a good try. I'll give you points for the thought.
Why can't you?
The trigger is rolling a saving throw.
You cannot counter
I say-
performance to thunder.
Let's put it to a vote.
This is a democratic battle.
Yes, it is.
What if I play reverse thunder? Okay. Well, that's my whole game is auditory.
Yeah, Deaf Bard.
This sucks.
Deaf Bard hurts a little. It's tough. So you can still attempt things. You just have a failure chance.
Okay.
I will tell you that it is DC 5. You just need to roll anything higher than a 4, and it'll come out because it's a practiced thing. But like it's got a little.
Nothing's stopping him from just doing the same.
You can
cantrip.
just try it again. Like
Yeah.
you don't feel the magic. You know it didn't work. Like
Okay, I'm just gonna yell. I'm like, no one heard me. I'm just gonna yell it louder. And let's see.
Oh my gosh.
This is his whole turn.
Okay, 8. That's better.
that
than
passes.
Okay.
So now here's the interesting part. It is an auditory performance. So you two, you don't hear anything. So you do not get the benefits of inspired courage, and you still don't feel the magic. You still aren't sure it worked because you're deaf.
Yup.
Trey and Cammy get inspired courage,
And little lady.
and the dwarf lady in the distance.
Perfect.
Feeling
For all of
particularly
my
roused.
damage and attack.
But hilariously, you are deaf to your own words, so you don't get the effect.
Does it again.
This whole time
it
I'm repeating it louder. Why isn't this working?
It's doing the same one that you have to repeat it over and over again. It's the same.
Good one action though.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna say it again.
I love it.
He's trying.
I love it.
Like I don't feel anything. It's like
Why
power off
isn't
and on.
this working? And like the two of you, Cammy, you're literally right next to
Yeah,
him. Just hear him repeatedly yelling this rhyme.
After the third time, I'm like, I get it.
You see Cammy turn to you and make this motion. You're saying something. You definitely can't hear.
No, it's a good one. It's fine.
I mean, I'll roll. It's 14.
Yeah, you did it, dude.
So it worked.
If he would have failed, it would have technically canceled out the last one too.
Oh my gosh.
Because the moment you cast another bardic cantrip, it cancels
nightmare.
out.
Cammy, your
previous
bard is
ones.
absolutely just screaming next to you. And he's just repeating the same thing louder and louder and louder. You feel it.
I need my actions, but I want to move. Get out of here. Oh my gosh. I will steel myself against the verbal assault.
I'm helping.
First, the thunderclap, your ears are still ringing, and now Easy is just rhyming.
So okay. So can I see Trey in them, or is it not really in my
They
visibility?
are on the very edge of the mist, definitely concealed. You can kind of see what's happening there.
Okay, so cast on them.
If anything that would target them is still going to require you to make that flat check. Even something
Okay.
that is like a mental effect, you have to have a firm point for your magic. It's still like focused on something, even if it doesn't have to make a physical attack roll.
Okay.
Notably, I'll just say this now before it becomes relevant later. This includes healing. If you try to cast a healing spell on someone at the edge of the mist who's concealed, you still have to make that flat check to get the magic in there.
To get the magic.
Because you're just seeing like shapes in the mist.
Okay. And these are undead, right? This seems like a silly question to
They're
ask.
Pretty,
But-
yeah,
okay,
they're,
but
yeah, these are
I
ghouls.
would,
Ghouls
I
are
would
very
tend to
undead.
assume. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to. Cammy sits there trying to ignore the sound, and she's going to imagine like she's packing up a little snowball, and she's gonna and blow a kiss as if she is traveling it. That is going to be stoke the heart for Trey. And then I'm
Does
gonna
that do
go.
anything for
Yeah.
paralyzed?
Maybe a flat. Maybe a flat check.
I'm right, you're paralyzed. You'll figure it out. It's a 20.
Well, it very succeeds. All right.
You'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
when he gets in there, he'll have it. He'll have it.
I can't give it to him.
You can.
It's verbal.
Oh, that's fair.
I mean, you can't like visibly see who's
You
deaf or
can't
not,
hear
but
my.
that's
You
fair.
can't hear me blow my little kiss.
Well, she could see that there is absolutely zero reaction to the bard screaming
I guess that's fair. You can tell.
from either the ghoul or the
This is
rogue.
ruining everything. Okay, and then I'm gonna look at the other undead. I'm gonna go, and that's disrupt undead.
On who? The one that Trey's fighting?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Consider him wrecked.
Stinky.
Yeah, you stinky. Okay. 5 on the die plus 14 damage and a fortitude save.
Maybe a flat check.
Beans.
Beans.
Oh no, it's a 19.
Okay. Wow.
We're counting down.
Really
Yeah,
high.
dude.
These would be great crits if you had attack rolls. All right.
Right.
Did you say fortitude save?
Yes, please.
Ooh. 19 total.
Are you Bane?
Yes.
Really?
I am Bane.
Get
Is
so
that
wrecked
exact
then.
lethal? He's gonna fail.
Yeah. He's also enfeebled for 1 round.
Okay. And you said how much damage?
That was 19, or not 19, 14 damage.
Yeah, he's enfeebled.
Yeah.
I would say he's pretty significantly disrupted. As you throw this out, and while Trey is just frozen and helpless to fend this thing off, you can still perceive the world. You still see this guy going to clamp down, and you see Cammy behind you, and he just peels off of you and falls on the ground on his back, dead.
You see my silhouette in the distance, just squared up.
Cammy's getting a lot of surprisingly high number of kills in here. Wow. But first you beer can the night god, and here we are.
designed to do this.
I don't think so either. While Easy is yelling, here in the mist. Cammy, Marius and Easy next to you are both deaf. So you're
I
the
know.
only one that hears a voice to your right. Around the side, past the wall, up kind of against the edge of what will be the northern end of the cafeteria. A voice that you definitely recognize. They left you all alone back here? Go! And you see Clades spring out from the mist
No, I'm not the one,
with
please.
2 ghouls behind them. Clades throws himself at Marius. Marius does not hear it coming
Oh, gosh.
at all. He'll absolutely...
Can I wave my hands frantically?
You're doing your spells.
Is that a
He looks at
reaction?
you as Clades come flying behind him. You're absolutely flat-footed to this attack, Marius. The 2 ghouls with him surge in to the back here and dive into the camp, to the cultists that were back in your kind of support, that are starting to come out now they realize this fight is happening. Marius, I got a villain point. I'm gonna use the villain point on that attack.
Man, I thought you guys were friends.
Oh, that's gonna be math. A 32
Ouch.
to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Is it 10 higher than
Yeah.
your AC?
Yeah.
Does it crit?
It's also really mean of you, actually.
As Clades comes flying out here, you see him crash into Marius, and again, you had no idea this was coming. You had no chance to attempt to avoid or resist this. You are going to take 26 points of piercing damage. Chomp. And I need you to make me a fortitude save.
18 on the die plus 9. 26.
Okay. Need you to make me another
Or
fortitude.
27.
It's definitely high enough.
Yeah.
Need you to make me another fortitude save.
15 plus 9.
Solid. That's good. That's solid.
24.
But as he hits and you feel him sink his teeth into you, he pulls back. He has got a chunk of Marius and Marius's blood running down his jaw, dripping across this hand he's still wearing around his neck. In the one hand he has a small, curved, almost like a kukri-bladed knife that looks a very fine make. The blade is bright and shining, almost silver. The handle a solid, flat black. And as he flicks it out to the side to bring it out towards you, you can see the spiraled symbol of Pharasma stamped onto its pommel. This looks like a weapon he probably, very possibly recovered from one of the Pharasmas. Looks very similar to the short sword in design and in make, but it is much nicer. And he lashes that out towards you for a 27.
Oh
to
my
hit.
gosh.
Yeah.
It's with the multiple attack penalty. This, and oh wait, no, I need that. Hold on, that's counting things. You stay there. Give me these 2. I have lots of these dice. Don't worry.
Ugh.
Any one of just these attack rolls would have instantly downed me. Just the attack roll.
That is going to be 12 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
As he slashes this into you and slams it into Marius, you feel his claws bite a little bit too. Make me another fortitude save.
I'm gonna
This is how ghouls get you. How many saves
That's a 19.
can you make in a row?
Plus.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
No.
Trey,
Your
you
heart
are
is stoked.
paralyzed.
My heart
Your
is
heart
stoked.
feels pretty stoked.
I feel invigorated by the yelling of the bard, and I have an action I can take.
What do you got?
Intimidating glare.
You can absolutely intimidate. I'll give it to you.
I can
You
intimidate
can't
and
move.
glare 2 ghouls.
You can't move. Can you do 2 targets?
The 2 separate targets. I have 3 actions. What else
That's
am I?
fair, I suppose.
Yeah.
You just glare at the one fighting the dwarf woman and just sort of glare over towards the one.
Yeah, just-
grab it with MD. Your eyes just you're not moving, but there is rage. That is enough. Yeah, I'll give you intimidating glare.
I do it to Clades too, but he's out of range.
Give me an intimidate check.
That is a 7, 8, so 15 for the closest one.
Okay, the one on the front of the dwarf, he's clearly paralyzed, not really afraid. The woman fighting MD.
Even lower, 11.
I guess that tracks are trying to be
Yeah,
intimidating
yeah.
while literally paralyzed. It kind of fits.
The point is I can use the action, so
My
I might as
dog
well.
looks at you just like,
Exactly. and then a fortitude
give me a
save.
fort save.
Not
Oh
one.
my gosh, dude.
Doesn't matter. Can't
Still-
get worse.
Yeah, you can't get reparalyzed, but you're definitely not unparalyzed. Your heart is stoked, but for the moment, Trey is stuck. And we come to Marius. How you doing, buddy?
Run.
As Clades dives on you here, along with him and this incredible pain, you and Cammy and Easy are overwhelmed with a potent stench of rot. I need you 3 to all make me fortitude saves. The clothesman counteracts for how sensitive your sense of smell is, so it's not worse.
Okay, then.
You don't take a -2.
What kind of save?
Fortitude save.
No, thank you.
I don't even think that noise made it a stream. It was just like a.
Absolutely not.
And that's the 7.
Is it the 6 and the 7 are at a very dark part of that die?
Okay.
What do you end up with, Cammy?
Better than the
it's
2.
a 7 on the die, so it's a 13.
Okay.
Is it fear?
No.
It's just a 13.
It's 13 plus 6, 19.
Marius.
Oh, sorry. I didn't hear that. I was 20. Natural 20 plus whatever.
Natural. My man can make saves. Marius will make saves all day long. He's a little distracted right now. There's other things going on. The stinky's not at the front of his mind. But you 2 are hit with this stench. You are both sickened 1.
19?
This is, wow, a virulent, overwhelming, cloying stench that makes it hard to breathe even. But Marius, you are not. You have a bigger problem, which is called Clades.
Yeah, I'm very hurt. I think I'm going to just, in kind of like a state of panic and just kind of completely dazed from also being deafened. I'm gonna take my sword and try to just give him a little bit of a stabby stab.
Stabby stab.
Give him the old stabby.
Pulls out his,
That's a 16 plus 8, 22.
22 will hit.
Yeah,
22 will hit.
okay. That's the wrong die.
He's just kind of throwing himself at you.
That's 5 plus 2, so 7.
Okay, 7 points of damage as you catch him with the blade here. You don't have a lot of room to really get like a great stab, but the point definitely digs into him a bit. And do you see him react? He doesn't pull away from you. He doesn't disengage at all. He just laughs. You got some fight in you! I like that!
And now, would the appropriate move be like the escape action? Do I need to do anything to try
You're
to not
not
trigger
actually
reactions?
grabbed or anything. There is, if you want to get away without taking a reaction, there is an action called a step, where you move 1 square, but it does not trigger any attacks opportunity or anything. So you draw out your sword and hit him with it. Your third action could just be to step 1 tile away from him.
Yeah.
Because then, if nothing else, that's 1 less attack he gets on his turn because he has to come back to you.
Yeah, then I will try to step for that would be my second action, right?
You can pull your sword out. With
With-
your bow in your hands.
Even with I have quick draw.
Oh, you have
right?
quick draw? Then yeah, you have 2
Yeah.
actions left. Never mind.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had quick draw.
Yeah, I've got quick draw. Okay, so then I'll step away, kind of going in the direction of the kitchen, preferably diagonal if I could
All
do
right,
that.
absolutely.
And then I'm just gonna run. I need to get away.
To the pantry door,
Yeah.
as far as you can go. Let's see, 5, 15, 20. What's your speed?
20.
Oh, right to there. Oh, yeah, right. You're a dwarf. So you're going as fast as your little dwarf legs can carry you. MD.
So I know I'm deafened, so I don't hear what's going on
You don't
behind
even
me.
hear
but,
any of this behind
but
you,
MD's always like keeping an eye on Cammy. Can I just roll a perception to see if I notice Clade's behind me? I'm engrossed.
Honestly, mechanically, you're not blind. You're aware of what's going on. It's entirely up to you whether you would notice
because
in character.
he's always just watching out for Cammy.
It is well established.
Yeah, this is
No, that's
very well
absolutely-
established.
That's
so,
not like out of nowhere. That's
Yeah.
been canonized many times in this adventure.
so he's just gonna look at this guy, just just run towards Clades, screaming non-coherently because he can't hear himself.
I'm like, oh god, there's another.
And I'm gonna twin feint on Clades with my remaining 2 actions: club and dagger.
Somewhere in there, Trey was blessed and rebaited by an
Oh my
increasingly
gosh.
agitated Pixel, who I think has accidentally turned on caps lock.
So with the club first, natural 20.
Whoa! Oh, he stepped up to Cammy.
So it's not a sneak attack, but it is. He stepped up to Cammy. 6 on the die, plus 4, so 20 damage. Critical specialization. He gets knocked away 10 feet.
You have crits,
It's
man?
like
Yeah,
calling
I'm a
your-
ruffian.
Oh my
You're a
god.
Ruffian.
He gets knocked away 10 feet.
Bat him back into the realms of the barricade. You run up. What does this look like? What are we seeing here?
It's literally full speed. The club behind me, my body into it as well. Just hit him with the club with everything behind it. Knock him back, and the dagger flies out after because I did twin feint.
And the
Oh my
Clades
god.
Clades is just turning as this happens, and he gets batted back and hits the barricade.
That is a
What's
shove.
left of it.
You just
can
wait till my
follow
big
him.
brother
Yeah,
gets here.
Actually,
He's
I
gonna
do
follow
just
him.
I
It's a
do just
shove.
follow him, and with just all the ferocity behind this attack, I rolled a 2 on the die, but I'm going to use this hero point from saying MD is pissed.
Oh my god.
And he saw Marius ran away, and he's even more pissed that Marius left. For 9, so I don't think that hits.
He's flat-footed.
It's 15 total.
Oh, no, 15's
No.
not going to do it, no. But as you come in, absolutely, wow, wild here. The ghouls that have fallen into the camp here have taken up the fight against some of the cultists that were coming out to engage with you, and the fight has re-erupted back out in the camp. There aren't many, there's only the 2 that were with Clades, but there's only so many of your cult guards left after this this first wave here. They're very involved back there and don't seem to, none of them turn around to this battle that's happening behind them. The dwarven woman swinging this massive ladle around is this ghoul that now has any concept anything is here, who can make an attempt to dodge it rather than just getting cold clocked by a huge invisible dwarf. They fight next to Trey as Trey is just locked up watching.
I'm just watching.
But the last of these ghouls, the woman who had latched onto MD as MD surges away and goes after Clades, is going to rush to follow you. But even as she goes to try to help her leader, she rushes up past Cammy, and it looks like she can't even help herself. Looking down 2 and 3 times, twitching, and just stops and pounces on Cammy.
Empathetic plea. As she's pouncing on me, I just scream, I swear I'll make him beat you up too. I will. I'll scream.
So you did already.
It wasn't hostile towards this one.
Not that
It's
guy.
them or their allies. But
What?
she wouldn't have seen it. She was too
Ah.
far
It was
away
too
in
far.
the mist. She didn't see that.
I'll tell my brother. He'll beat you up for real.
Give me a diplomacy check.
18 on the die is going to be a 25.
25 will regular succeed.
You saw what he did. You saw-
She was already kind of second guessing. What happens on a regular success?
they take a -2.
She's sort of. She's hungry, but yeah, she does sort of just really commit to it. It's like it's just kind of just a taste, maybe just a little nip. 17 to hit you.
It's
Oh.
yeah. There's not a lot going on over here as
The
far as
woes of-
armor's
The
concerned.
woes of unarmored casters. Okay, she bites you, but her heart's not really in it.
Oh,
That
that's
makes
worse,
it- that
actually.
makes it better. You were gonna take 10 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
I had a fortitude save.
Okay. 14 on the die is a.
Another fortitude save.
Huh?
Another
one.
fortitude save.
Oh,
Because they're ghouls.
They're not particularly high. 14 on the die is
Okay.
definitely gonna pass the first one.
Oh.
You just have to make a lot of them.
Well, the second one's a 19 on the die.
Okay,
There you go.
all right. Yeah, see, it's war of attrition. It's not a high save, but you're
You
gonna
just
make it a
failed immediately.
lot
Yeah.
of times. That's true. Or you can just fail immediately. Successfully
Cool
plead.
paralysis isn't magic, right?
It is. It's got the occult trait, so it's occult necromantic. It's got magic traits. It's like it's not a spell, but it is like an intrinsic magical thing.
I have a thing I can
So you
use for
can
that,
use your
yeah.
thing, yeah. Well, she sort of looks up at MD. He looks a little busy. She's gonna bite
No,
you.
no, 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 no.
If anything, she just chews faster. She's gonna get in there while he's
No.
occupied. Indigo, look around.
Please.
This is
What's
the
in your
cookie.
mouth?
Well, this is the cookie jar. Dad's not looking right now. Rip the bones.
25 to hit you on the second one.
Not a crit.
Choose faster. Well, she's on a clock here. She doesn't want MD to turn around.
It doesn't crit.
Doesn't crit. 9 points of piercing damage.
That's awesome.
Fortitude save.
Okay, I can do that real quick for you. That's a 9 on the die, so it's going to be. Oh, but I'm 6, so 14.
Paralyzed.
No.
Second fortitude save.
18 on the die.
Easy.
Help!
You see this ghoul much larger than Cammy, the corpse of a human woman. Almost knock her over, bite into her as she yells something, and then with her finger still pointing back towards MD, she just freezes in that pose and kind of like topples over as this ghoul just starts ripping in.
Well, it's strangely quiet.
Very quiet, yeah.
Oh
It's
my
like an
gosh.
almost dreamlike scene to
You're
you
just
here.
standing there.
Doesn't almost even feel real. You don't hear anything.
I'm like, okay, don't blink. I can't hear, so I can't. Don't blink. I gotta think. The bites they boast are quite gross. Can we consider this some verbal zinc? And I'm gonna soothe you.
Thank you.
Ooh, okay. I thought he was
Zinc.
rhyming. I was like,
He's
Cammy's
got
on the
the
ground
zinc
getting eaten,
rhymes.
and he just starts rhyming again. He's just
Battle rap on top of her.
Kevin's gonna have like an illustrious freestyle career after this.
oh,
That does require a flat check.
Oh,
you are deaf.
Please.
Give me your
please.
flat check.
7.
Oh my God.
Passes.
Okay, okay.
I thought that was a
Passes.
1.
Okay.
Give me your heal. D10. Oh, well, I don't know level suit, so
D10.
is it first or second
I'll
level
do
suit?
first.
D10 plus 4.
Um,
Then Cammy, roll me a flat check.
Okay. 10.
Just misses. Just misses the 50.
8 plus 4 was 12.
Understandable, you would not get his stress back given the situation, but you will get 12 health back, so that's good.
Well, and I suppose that it should actually be a 9 rather, so I miss even more. Blech, I'm sick.
It's a flat check, so second doesn't apply to flat checks. You're fine.
Thank God.
One action left. Easy.
I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna.
One second. Make me a fortitude save, please.
19 plus 6 is 25. I'm
25.
blessed.
Minus 1 from your second is 24. You have a -2 to trying to recover from the stench while you're still in the aura of the stench.
Okay.
Is 22.
Okay.
22 succeeds. Yes,
Oh
you're
my
good.
gosh. I didn't like that math, dude.
So, Cammy, now we're in an interesting place. You are paralyzed. You can take fully mental actions, and as our weird little witch child, you may have some. I don't know.
Hexes.
I think some of your hexes, if they're verbal, you can't speak. to do the verbal part.
Somatic, the moving one?
Somatic is moving. Verbal requires you to talk. You can't
It's
do either of those.
unfortunate. Let's look through the rest of the
And
cantrips.
as you
I
fall
just-
down, and this ghoul is just chewing on you, you see Blue, who is not paralyzed, crawl over onto your chest and is just like using his little mitten hands and just like trying to pull on her what's left of her wispy little hair. Not really doing anything, but like he's trying. He's doing his best.
Oh.
You can, as one action, because you have a very innate empathetic link with Blue. You don't need to be able to verbally command him. You can use one action to give Blue 2 actions. That's just a thing you can do with familiars, and he can take actions. Whatever you would want Blue.
Well, all of
to
my
do.
spells are combos of somatic
Yeah,
and
you
verbal.
usually can't cast spells.
So
don't
I
think
got
this-
nothing. So yeah, no, he can knock himself out.
What do you want him to do? Attack her? Like,
Oh no, I'm not. I don't,
Imagine Blue one-rounding a ghoul.
he gets 2
Yeah, let
actions.
him mess him
She
up.
is injured. She's been beaten pretty well by MD.
can
You-
can he cast spells?
He cannot cast the spells. He
What
needs
can
you
he
for
do?
that. Yeah, that's out. He's got 2. He can attack. He's a little.
He has 5 HP. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying there's a good use for this. I'm saying that's about the only action I can think of that you can take.
And her maintain her spells up. She has on.
And you can. That's true. You can actually sustain your hex. You can
Oh
sustain.
well,
soaked
yeah,
heart.
you're still stoked over there.
Heart's still soaked.
So if you don't want Blue to do anything other than just do what
I
he's
would
doing,
love for him to do something, but I don't know what he could possibly do.
Just believe in the heart of the cards.
I guess.
Attack with the tongue.
Give them the blep.
Yeah, can he try and... Okay, so he's really speedy. And he has climb speed, so he could be
Okay.
stuck onto something. And she's stupid.
okay.
And I said that with my chest. She's stupid. So he's gonna attach himself, really ground himself into her back here, and lick the nape of her neck and try and get her to, like, get up and be like, what? Like, he's gonna try and... He's gonna mess with her.
Give me. He shares.
And he's
your-
going to skid her out of the way.
Yeah. He is trying to give me
a tongue check.
a deception check.
Okay.
He does generally just inherit your skills.
That's a
So
shame.
it's your.
It's a 9 on the dice, so that would be an 11. But I'm
It's
blessed.
just uncomfortable licking. It's just.
He licks.
You mean, okay, the DC has to be so low that you wouldn't do something if somebody licked your neck.
I mean, she's gonna slap at him for sure, but she's gonna slap at him. And he's just gonna and just like take off and run up the side of the asylum. She's eating right now. She's like, stop. Like,
Ah!
make me a fortitude save.
Oh my gosh. How much healing did I get from the soothe?
You got 12.
Well, she's so like everything's happening.
Me first. I'll get you your check next. 8 on the die, so okay, so 13.
Paralyzed.
Okay. Oh, well, what's new? Do it again?
No, I mean you are still paralyzed. That's your turn. That's all you got.
Technically, you could be paralyzed forever.
Clay, yeah, you can. If you keep failing, you can be paralyzed ad infinitum.
Okay.
Blades gets pushed back, and you nail him with this club. And you see him kind of crumple in his barricade and kind of cough, and you come up and he twists away from the dagger as you strike at him. He's only got the one hand here, and he just sort of looks up at you, and the joy has gone from Clays' face. And he puts his one hand out on your chest, his back against what's left of the edge of the barricade, and pulls both of his feet up to just kick out at you. This is a shove. So this is going to be versus your fort DC. It's going to be a 21.
Okay, you shoved me.
I'm assuming that's just a regular.
It's a regular. My
four
4 DC 17.
As he plants both of his feet on here and kicks out, he is going to push you back and down, and you're going to both get knocked back 5 feet and fall prone in the dirt. As he kind of wipes his mouth with the back of his hand, looks down at you, and springs off into the mist after his nice prey hit, which he can get to just there with 30, he takes back off into the mist after Marius. You are a slow little dwarf man. You are the injured prey. He is the hunter, and he is very fast. And as he catches up to you here, rushing after you, you still don't hear it coming.
Oh my
I don't know if
gosh.
you're looking over your shoulder or not. You're not flat-footed. You know Clades is there at this
I mean,
point.
I would argue that I would have been looking back once I got to a stopping point. Depends on. How
You haven't quite gotten
yeah, I would have argued that like I would have been. Yeah. I guess I don't really know
Oh,
the
you're
mechanics
not-
if I would have turned around to kind of look.
You're not flat-footed regardless, just for like if you even see this coming. But he is going to throw himself at you once more, smelling that weakness. He's going to bite at you
For a 57.
for a 27. Calm down. Just a regular hit. You are not Cammy. You have actual hit. You have hit points.
That is actually a
Wait.
crit on Cammy.
It is a 30 actually. I'm looking at the regular ghoul card. It's a 30 to hit.
Yeah, that's exactly 10 over. Are you
That's
not
the
Bane?
bone hurty right there.
I'm not banged anymore.
think
My
we're
bane won the last
losing.
thing.
I think I'm dead.
I'm paralyzed.
No way, me too.
We should have came up with a escape plan.
20
Yeah, I'm down.
points of piercing damage as you see the shape. MD and Cammy, you're close enough. You can see Clades just slam into Marius and tackle him down to the ground, and Marius just tumbles in the dirt as Clades knocks him over. You are dying too. Because you have gone down to a crit here. But that moves you to the end of initiative, so the whole rest of your team gets a chance to act before you have to make any dying checks.
The whole paralyzed and deaf crew gets a chance
Marius?
to...
You see Clades
3 blind
rip
mice
his
over
jaw up, a spray of blood as he pulls up his head. And here again, this laughter. What was the point? What was the point of turning on me? I would have taken you there. You could have had the tower. But no. What? You thought I couldn't do it? You thought I wouldn't do it? And he turns and looks back down towards MD, laying in the dirt. I will teach you what it means to cross me. Trey.
He's
I didn't hear any of this.
You don't, you don't hear any of it. He looks mad, though.
So you know who's within 30 feet of me now? I'm going to intimidating glare at him.
This is going to be the one you absolutely bang a 20.
I
on.
hope
Yeah.
so. That is a 13, so 21.
Is Vixel currently winning? I lost track of the Blessed Vain War. Okay. 21 isn't going to do it.
Oh.
Were you blessed?
Yeah, so if
We would've gotten
hypothetically
there.
I was to be blessed in the near and short future,
But unfortunately,
he's not going to let me stall,
the
boys.
paralyzed man is still not that terrifying.
Yeah, he's not going to let me
Make
stall for
fortitude
time.
saves.
I'll hold on. I want to use this dice right here. All right, let's.
Now you feel, round by round, this paralysis, this thing has overtaken you. You're not still being attacked. You feel yourself slowly forcing work back in. The longer you are paralyzed, the easier it is to overwhelm it. It cannot last indefinitely. It will fade to a point where the check is impossible to fail. It is not a permanent effect. But give me that fort save, my lad.
That is a 15.
15 now passes the reduced save. So you are at this round is spent staring at Clades, desperately fighting back against this, and by the end of that, with your target now in sight for the first time for you, then inspires Trey to get moving. I am blessed. Thanks, Maverick
Don't worry,
X29.
you'll still be stoked.
Still stoked. What does
MD.
Stoke do? Just damage.
I stand up. First action. And I have the card. I haven't actually written Twin Feint. Can you use that with range, like throwing weapons?
It's just 2 strikes.
Cool. I
Two
throw
strikes.
both.
They're for the
I
second
throw
one.
both the dagger and the club.
They're both throwing weapons.
They're both throwing weapons.
You can absolutely do that. What are you throwing first?
I'm throwing the club first.
Unga?
Unga at Clades. Natural 20.
Oh! MD fights for his friends, dude! Channeling the power of anime!
16 total damage.
The club is the ghoul slayer.
Oh my
It's just a crowbar at this point. There's a crowbar modeled on the model. It's just a crowbar.
You've had him. Oh my goodness! I mean, Clay's has a pretty good amount of health, but if you keep critting him with the club, it's gonna go real fast! Again! What does this look like? What does a
It's
club
literally-
throwing crit look like?
He's literally yelling at me, and as he's yelling, MD just stands up, looks him dead in the eye, and just with a good toss, it nails him, beams him right in the forehead in the middle of him yelling.
As he's yelling this at MD, absolutely unfazed, little does he know, MD literally can't hear him. He takes his club and like reels and just turns back.
And then MD, before he throws the dagger, says, "I can't hear you."
Lol didn't read.
Well, it's a 2 with the dagger. The dagger
That's okay.
flies far.
It's okay. The Ghoul Slayer is doing its job. And,
But now the ghoul has the ghoul slayer.
I have half a mind to have him pick up the club and throw it back.
Maybe it's just the club.
As we come back around to this, the fight in the camp, you have a 3-on-2 with your fighters that are left with a little bit of crossbow support, what little they can do firing into this just like melee that is just snuck in through the side here. One of the cultists has fallen, one of the ghouls is pretty injured. It looks like the cultist will probably win out on this, but it will be with pretty significant losses. At this point, the ringing in your ears starts to subside. You are no longer deafened. It was 2 rounds. The hearing comes back to everybody. The ghoul, you're still paralyzed, though. I am getting ahead of myself. As we come around now to the bad things that are happening, and even with MD's great retort, Marius has been taken down violently. I need everyone to make me a stress check.
But
This is
what
just
if you're
flat.
deaf and then it was too far away to see?
That was a 7.
Oh,
You,
yeah.
you knocked it over.
Okay.
I'll give you a bye.
Okay.
You've slayed me. Easy was deaf and he was on the edge of the mist. Easy
And
is
I can't
fine.
see in the dark.
You couldn't hear the screaming.
It's like
We both rolled a 7.
Twins.
You don't have to roll one.
Not you, but MD.
That's the first one I felt.
what's everyone stressed out
Really?
about?
Yes!
It's a really good.
Everyone failed. I bring this up because there may be another one in the very immediate future.
No,
Because there is
no,
still
no,
a
no,
very
no.
paralyzed
No,
Cammy
no.
being ripped into.
This
by
could
this
be it, boys.
ghoul
I
woman.
could get 10 stress.
This isn't about you right now. I'm dying.
23 to hit.
Yeah, no, dude, that hits.
That's your bones being crunched.
Second one is a 12 to hit.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Third one,
We didn't roll damage yet. I may not even be there anymore.
this is a ghoul.
Oh, it's
This is a normal ghoul.
And she is losing herself to her hunger here. What point you go unconscious isn't relevant to her.
Oh my gosh.
10 to hit on the last one.
Get wrecked.
So only the first of these will land.
That's good. I don't think I could take more than one.
How much did you get healed for?
12. I'm at 22.
Oh, 11 points of piercing damage.
Wait, was that a hit? I didn't even
You
feel
have
that.
even MD just kind of like kicking out towards you. Easy's right there. You're paralyzed. You can't really move, but Blue is being a nuisance. This ghoul is
That's my boy.
definitely savaging Cammy, but it doesn't look like she's in a lot of danger, but she's not dying yet. She's just stuck. Easy.
Okay. So I don't know what happened to Marius. Certainly.
You see him run off, and you see Clade shoot off after him. You didn't hear anything. As your hearing comes back, you hear that scream from Clades as you see MD just pitch his club into the mist. You
Okay.
can just barely make out Clay, the shape of Clades, and you see the club just bonk.
Okay, but I don't know that someone's unconscious and dying right now. Or
5? That's 5? 15, 20. Nope. He is
Okay.
completely beyond what you can see.
I'm so sorry. Well, what I do see is Cammy being eaten. Okay, so I'm just gonna be like, Cammy ate a meal. have a heal. I'm gonna heal you again.
You can't fail it now, so you
Oh,
got that
yeah.
going for you.
Yeah.
Nice. You don't have
Yeah.
anymore, so you just get the healing. Cammy, make me a stress check.
A stress check.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
to
good stress
get really.
check.
Oh,
wait,
good
why am I
stress
even
check.
wrong?
8. It's yeah.
Again, understandably, you wouldn't be recovering
Yeah.
stress right now. Not
Yeah.
not really a situation it feels like she'd be doing great.
Oh. No. Wait, is it? It's a little cocked.
It's cocky, it's sorting if it's cocked.
Okay, but it's
It was good though. We didn't.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
That's
little
better.
better.
we're fair in our cocked
13.
rolls.
good. Okay, so yeah,
It's
9,
just-
9 plus 4. Yeah, that's
So we
9
have
plus 4.
the archetypal. You are. I mean, the ghoul's having a great time. The ghoul is biting, ripping
It's-
chunks out of
it's a
candy,
buffet. It's
feasting,
constantly-
and you are just continuously healing it back. Literally, as the ghoul is ripping pieces out of Cammy, Easy's magic is causing your skin to pull and knot and stitch and work back together.
she's gonna get tired out eventually.
This has got to be
It's a war
one
of
of the
attrition.
most agonizingly painful experiences I could imagine.
Oh my gosh.
But it's
feel great.
you do not feel great.
No.
Soothe.
You feel emotionally stable,
Yeah, I
maybe.
feel
Am I numbed? Am I?
Oh no, soothe makes it.
Anesthesia?
Soothe calms your emotions. It doesn't stop the pain. Like,
You're like, this is fine.
this is fine. You got one action left, Easy.
I'm gonna be like, well, now that I can hear, I got something to tell. Ghouls smell. Okay, let's be cautious. I'm a little bit nauseous. I'm not feeling well. And that's courage.
Is it?
It is.
What part of that was inspiring?
I don't know, bringing light in
It's
a
the
bad
way
situation.
he sings it. You gotta be there.
It's really knowing
got
that
the voice
Easy's
of an
okay.
angel.
Yeah, I'm not tone deaf.
Everybody is inexplicably inspired.
Yes!
Cammy, you
What?
can sustain your stoke and you can give me a fort save.
There you go, bud. That's for you. I'm so glad I did that ahead of time. Okay, no. Stop that. Nat 20!
She does it. There's a certain point where, even though you are like the DC is not going down because you are continually being bit, so it is being reapplied constantly. But there is a point where, like, the overwhelming pain and agony forces your little body to push through this and fight it off. It's your turn, but you are no longer paralyzed. Now, I'm not saying she goes again before you do, but you are at the moment not paralyzed.
So mean. Oh my gosh.
Marius. Have you been here for a close death encounter yet?
No.
So the way this works in Pathfinder, right now you are dying. We don't have negative health anymore. We've moved on from that barbarian era. You are dying 2 because you went down to a critical hit. At dying 4, generally, is when you expire. On your turn, you are going to roll a flat check. The DC is 10 plus your dying value, so it's 12 right now. You're sickened if you had it, none of that. Oh, you weren't sickened. Nothing applies. This is just a completely flat check. If you succeed, your dying 2 goes down to dying 1. If you fail, your dying 2 goes down to dying 3. If you critically fail, your dying 2 goes down to dying 4. So if you roll a 1 or a 2, Marius dies. Give me a flat check.
Oh my god.
Do you have the dwarven feat that makes it harder to die?
I don't think so.
You would know.
He-
It's your level
No,
1
he
ancestry.
does not. You have a 10% chance.
That's an 18.
Your dying value
Dying
decreases
1.
by 1.
Oh, that's good.
Nothing changes.
Out of the instant death zone. So you got that going for you, which is nice. Clades turns and looks towards MD and reels for a second, and you see him kind of twist his whole body, using his one hand to almost roll across Marius, almost like he was using the body for cover. He drops down behind He uses his hand to kind of push the body up and sink his teeth into Marius's neck and rip out a big bloody chunk while he can't resist. You're going to see this clearly revitalize Clades
Oh my
as
gosh.
he feeds. You would say he looks like he healed for about 12 points. And Marius is going to go right back to dying too.
Oh my
There
gosh.
is no roll.
dude.
There is no save. It just knocks you down one step.
Now he's full.
AJ,
Now
did
he's
we,
full.
Did we like tick you off? Did we do something this week? Did we
Then he is going to fling himself forward with a roar, pushing Marius's body over and flying past it as he launches himself directly at MD. You don't have any weapons in your hands.
Squared up at this point.
He's got a knife.
That's
and
bad.
he just comes flying in, swinging. And he brings this knife up forward like he's just throwing himself with his piercing attack. But as he comes in close, he twists, throws one foot down, and pivots around your defense against that to try to just bite into your arm. He knows he doesn't need to get center mass. He just has to get you stuck. He's going to bite at you for a 25 to hit.
That hits.
Regular hito.
I really wish somebody was an elf right now.
Yeah, that'd
It'd be so
great.
funny.
17 points of piercing damage. Give me the fort save.
15, 16.
Total?
Yeah.
He's a bit stronger than his fellows. His infection, a bit more virulent. Clades here rose to power for a reason, and that is he is one hell of a ghoul. 16 is going to fail against Clade's paralysis. Zembi locks up. He gets the bite, and he stops. He lets go. He feels it. He feels you seize up, and he straightens up in front of you and looks at Cammy, and looks at Easy, and retraces his hand.
I'm not good eating. I'm not good. I don't have no stuff.
I love these horns! Meanwhile,
I can move.
Trey's
Oh,
not
go
paralyzed.
So he's exactly 30 feet away from me.
Sure is.
And I'm going to go right behind him so that whenever you can move, you have flanking. I don't know if you can provide
I'm
flanking when
pretty
you're
sure he
paralyzed.
still does.
Perfect.
Paralysis doesn't say he doesn't.
And I'm going to intimidating strike him and blow the gym if it succeeds.
Ooh. Trey coming in from downtown.
Don't
The
forget
big
about me,
intimidating
buddy.
Strike. He might have forgotten about you.
It's so cocked, but I want to call the 19, but it's cocked.
it's
I have to be
cocked.
fair.
How are you
ha-
talking it in a
gosh.
dice tray?
Because the tray's like
It
nice
hugs the
leather. It's the
edge.
Norse Foundry tray. It's real
They are
nice.
very
so it
the
kinda
high-
It's
like
a
high
really
quality.
nice Norse Foundry.
They got real good stuff. It's pretty cool.
Okay, that's still
That's
a
not bad.
12, which is going to be a 24.
absolutely gonna hit him.
He's now frightened 3.
And as the energy from this gem that you found surges out, an overwhelming
Sorry, frightened 2.
fear rips into Clades. He knows it's magical. He knows it's unnatural. That doesn't help him resist it. He's frightened. Did you say 3 or 2?
2.
Frightened
3 on a
2.
crit.
He's frightened too.
And that will be 13 damage. Come on, Clades. I came out here for you.
You undid the heal. Solid.
And he cannot stop being frightened as long as I am hitting him.
Hobgoblin things. You are a very terrifying man. MD, you see Trey come flying in from nowhere to try to save you, but you're in a great position to capitalize and absolutely overcome with this ghoulish infection. What?
What? I just fall forward and hit him. Just a headbutt. Paralyzed. Just
It's sheer willpower. Your frozen body just sort of tumbles into him and be mildly annoying. Give me a fortitude save. That's why he's flat-footed.
19 on the die.
That's why the flanking still works. And through sheer rage and determination, you push through it.
Oh, actually 2 more damage from Stoke the Heart.
Ooh, sick. I'll put it on there.
That's right.
It's been here for like 4 rounds. I just
Now
haven't
you
been
can
able to
use
use
we're
it.
fine. Here's the payoff.
Clades is getting jumped. The ghoul is eating Cammy. don't know what this ghoul thinks. I'm trying to get in this ghoul's head right now. Driven by an undying hunger, and she just showed up to Golden Corral, and they keep refilling the tray literally as she is pulling all
Free
of
refills.
the beautiful golden rolls away, and they just keep laying down more. And I think she's losing herself in this. Like, she probably should go help Clades, but this is the best day of her life since she got turned into a ghoul, which has been admittedly like 3 days. So not a huge fireball from.
It's her big day.
It's the first time she's really just gotten to feed, and she is lost in it. You see her going near feral, ripping into Cammy. All sense is gone. She's not even going to make claw attacks. It's just going to be jaws, jaws, jaws. 18 to hit on the first one.
That will hit.
Nibble.
Would you consider this piercing or slashing damage?
It is piercing damage.
I'm going to use my reaction to cast Blood Vendetta, which the text of the card I will say, punishing it for having the audacity to spill your blood.
I'll allow it.
It's
I'll
when
allow
a
it.
creature deals piercing or slashing damage to you.
Probably raw, not a thing you can do, but it's way too fitting to take it away
That's
from
the
you.
whole trigger. That's the entire trigger, and I just have to say something. And what I'm going to say is, as Cammy has broken out of the paralysis, probably temporarily, kicking and thrashing as she leans down to take a bite, Cammy freezes and looks into her eyes, and as Cammy's eyes darken, she says, I wouldn't do that if I were you. As blood begins to pour out of every orifice on this ghoul.
That's what it says.
This curse deals 2d6 persistent bleed damage and a will saving throw.
It's 27 on the will save.
That's okay.
It's a
That
regular
succeeds.
success.
So half damage.
Half damage, half persistent bleed
That's right.
damage.
We'll just say 1d6 for convenience rather than rolling 2 and then having it for some reason. Second bite. 9.
That doesn't hit.
Third bite. 9.
That doesn't hit!
They're not. I mean, his regular ghouls are only so strong. They're not amazing at this, really. Because the bro energy of MD and Trey, they should be given an advantage. Hero points to you two from Sandfox10. Another one bite, only 7 points of piercing damage this time, as the pain.
Keep refilling that buffet.
Whatever this spell is definitely pulling back on her. She's going to take D6 persistent damage. She's definitely still taking it. It does not stop. Throw me that D6. In the distance, at the edge of the fog, you see a ghoul corpse get absolutely ragdolled, almost a foot up in the air by a big old ladle swing before it just crumples and rolls across the
Oh
ground.
my gosh.
As this dwarven woman handily wins her fight, but is staying there clearly just sort of panting and definitely in pain. Easy.
Okay.
It was 4 damage for the ghoul.
Okay.
Well, I still don't know what's going on.
Well, you can see everything now.
I could. It's not misty and
It's all moved
You
closer.
can't see Marius, you can see everything else is going
Well, yeah,
on.
the fight has now moved close enough. You can see everything that's happening.
You don't see any
You see
arrows
this. You see this. You
flying.
see your little nugget right here. Your nugget of activities.
okay. It's fine. So I'm gonna keep playing what I was playing and keep that up, and then I'm gonna be like, I'm looking at the ghoul next to Cammy and be like, buffet's over, and then I'm gonna throw a rock at her as hard as I can.
Nice, dude.
So
Sick one-liner. Give me a spell attack.
it's just been revoked. Okay, I'm gonna use my thing. That's not nice.
That's not nice.
Okay, 10 plus 9.
That
Nice.
definitely hits.
Okay, thanks, Sandbox.
Blink.
Golden Corral is closed.
Corral is
That was
closed.
Arcadis.
Oh my
Arcadis.
gosh.
I love this man.
6 plus 4. 6 plus 4 is 13. Plus 1 is 14.
I want you to know, had you done this at literally any time, it would have killed the ghoul. It absolutely kills the ghoul. This is like you shoot this rock up as she kind of recoils back. You see blood running out of her ears, her nose, her eyes, and your rock just hits her in the side of the head. You see it kind of burrow in, and there's a second trail of blood running down, and she just collapses down on top of King. The last now of these ghouls really engaged in the encounter with you guys having fallen, kind of leaving just Clades. Cammy, as you fight through and you're no longer paralyzed.
Stoke the heart. As it's done
Please
so well.
continue.
Yeah, please continue. I'm going to. I guess getting up would be an action.
You're not actually prone. She's just much bigger than you, so she was just sort of down. You don't have to lay down for her to get on top of you.
Fair enough.
You're fun size.
Entirely, completely.
You would be in a trick or treat bowl.
I am going to I'm going to shove her off of me, send her into a heap on the floor, kind of brushing off, taking some of the blood on me and just rubbing it off or into my skin, getting it off of me. And I'm going to look at Clanes and be like, no, you're next. I'm going to deal Disrupt Undead.
He is undead. He can be disrupted. You know, will save?
Yes. First is the damage, which is going to be a 6 plus 9. But then no, that's not a check. So yes.
Your spell DC is down 1 from being sickened, but it does not affect your damage.
16 damage. That would be max, and then a Fortitude save.
25.
25. He's not enfeebled.
He's a bit of a brute.
He's not
So
enfeebled, but he did take 16 damage.
16 damage. Okay. Ooh. As he takes that, that spell kind of racking through him. Him now surrounded by MD and Trey as MD's starting to regain his composure. He does stumble a bit.
Marius, you dying too.
Just
Here, Trey and MD can see, but they can't do anything about it. Don't roll a 1
I'm
or
doing
2.
everything I can about
The
it.
best you can do is kill Clades, and then we can deal with it after that.
Yeah, the irony is the healing potion in my inventory that I can't use.
Second
I'm just really
verse.
afraid to just do this roll.
Same as the first.
16.
Dying 1.
That's good. That's
We're
good.
making progress.
That's good.
So. Clades. Ooh, what does Clades do? How do the rest of you look right now?
I'm not willing to say at this time, and I think that's a trick question.
I've looked worse, but I'm still standing ready to go.
I think Trey, you look probably mostly good.
I mean, I got bit and just been paralyzed. So
Let's see. What is Clades gonna do here? He's frightened too. He's flanked. He's not an idiot. He's definitely not gonna stay flanked. He's looking pretty hurt at this point. He's not gonna run though. He's definitely too prideful for that. He's going to turn. Who looks the most hurt at? And probably MD, between MD and Trey.
I've been hit the hardest.
I got hit once. So
He takes the hit from Trey and turns back to finish what he's doing here. Fully just focused now as he tries to bite down and stop you from recovering and mounting an offense here. 20? No, 18 'cause he's frightened too.
Does not, as he stumbles.
frightened too.
Actually, I kind of take my arm and shove it up underneath his jaw as he goes down to bite and shove him up.
He's gonna follow it up as you kind of got his head, bringing his one hand up under you, just trying to just plunge his claws into your side. Okay, Agile. 23.
23.
With the
I'm
frightened
not
too.
ready for that. It's the soft side. It's the soft
It's the
bit.
squishy bits.
He gets it in the soft bits.
Get you in the giblies.
12 points of piercing damage.
Piercing. As it just, the bark, he feels out bark across my skin as it kind of blunts a little bit of it.
And it's not enough to get you. I need a fortitude save. And then he is going to look back towards Trey with your blade. And he is just going to spring across over Cammy to the backside of her. In between Cammy and Easy. Putting your friends in the way there as he reaches down towards the tiny little gnome. But that is all of his actions.
Take fortitude save, you said?
Yes.
Um,
It was paralysis.
I'm going to grit my teeth and bear through it and use this hero point from Sandbox to get a 9 on the die again. A total of a 16.
Canon event.
Cannon event.
Can't event.
Fixed point of
Can't interfere.
timeline.
That's better than 5.
He re-paralyzes you and springs away, and he looks over towards Trey. He doesn't seem threatened by you two at all. He looks over.
Does his frightened condition reduce the DC of that?
It goes down to 1. It can't go below 1 as long as Trey's there. But,
The DC for the paralyzed.
oh, that's true. You got 16?
Yeah.
It'd be down
Are
by
you
2
blessed?
till the end of his turn.
Am I blessed?
I think
I
you
ate it already.
burned
No
it.
one
Oh,
requested
if
me.
you'd been blessed, the frightened would have done it. But almost, but not quite. And has his hand up and just looks towards Trey. Stay there. Not one step closer. He's already reaching for Cammy.
Yeah, the problem is I'm just as fast as he is.
You're
So-
a quick boy.
He goes to do his leap. I already
Chat
know
says you're
I'm
blessed, so you're not paralyzed. Chat, it says you're blessed on stream, so you're not paralyzed.
so. But I'm
God,
just as
excellent.
fast as he is. He goes to leap. I'm not fast enough to catch him with the attack of opportunity, but I can run right after him, get around the flank, and before he has time to reach down and grab her, the sword's already coming with a wide slash across his midsection.
Clearly, with his threat, he was already reaching for Cammy as fast as he could anyway. This was a
Not gonna be that easy, Clades. And that is a 22 to hit
22
to
will
his
do it.
flanking frightened 1.
Absolutely will do it.
And this is a snagging strike,
He's got
just in case.
13 health.
I did 14 damage.
How do you win this, Trey?
Unfortunately for Clades, he has not been missing his arm for a very long time. So while he's reaching down with his good arm and he goes to block me with the arm that doesn't exist anymore, I cut clean across his midsection and gut him over the ground.
And before Clades can even utter another word,
Stoke the heart, because I didn't do enough without Stoke the heart.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my god!
So wait, you had 13, 14 with that?
No, this, because that's
Oh.
+1, this is +2.
I was like, because that doesn't stack with. So, oh, but it was one higher because you had Stoke.
Yes.
Okay, I was like, because those don't stack. so you
This
definitely
wouldn't
did
have
Stoke.
done it. Stoke did it.
With that, as Clades tumbles to the ground, the dwarven woman staggers forward. You turn back and see what's left of the cult, managing to clean up a couple of ghouls that have been sent in. One that was trying to pull back to escape as his fellow was brought down, caught by a crossbow bolt. That action, that fire, the last sound of this battle before the calm comes over this. There is a moment of chaos where really everybody but Easy and Trey and MD have seen what happened with Marius, and with Easy's turn upcoming, he would certainly be able to hurry forth and at least ensure that Marius does not perish. Bringing him back, stabilizing him, very different things, but you're not going to make any more death saves, good sir.
You
We've
survived.
passed that gate.
Barely.
I've been there.
And we're going to take our midstream break.
Oh my gosh. We're only halfway.
We're only halfway there.
Hey, paralysis
boys.
slows a fight down
We got a whole
hard.
other wave now.
We
Oh my gosh.
have taken down Clades and what surely is at least most of his ghouls, right?
We'll see.
We can
6 now,
probably
right?
just walk into recap.
Yeah, right?
The man was no slouch.
I'll take level 4 after that.
Had you guys tried to fight him there when they brought you in the first place in that pool room, you would have had a bad time. MD, Scott in S Dakota is what it's supposed to be. I don't get caps in this thing here. Re-blessing you. Take that back.
Thank
We're
you.
going to take about 10 minutes to stand up, stretch our legs, use the bathroom, get some drinks. Oh, walk around a bit. Breathe. Calm yourself. But don't go too far. That's only the first half of today's episode. We'll be right back. Woo!
We
We're
did
alive.
it.
Put away all my cards now.
Alive! I mean, that was definitely the first like big scale brawl, like real high grade battle we've had in Strange Aeons. Again, I said it last week, I'm pretty sure on the show. I didn't really see you guys doing this area this way. I didn't imagine instigate a gang war was going to be how we were going to do the rehab wing. But it led to a very large battle.
Hey, you just got to smoke them out.
Real big fight that we have kind of just barely triumphed over. Marius is still unconscious on the ground. Around the courtyard, he has been savaged by Clades. A huge, visible, bloody chunk missing from the side of his neck where Clades fed on him to restore himself. MD is injured. Trey is injured. Cammy has been ripped to pieces like 3 times over. And probably went to what must be, like, I realize now, an extremely effective form of magical torture. To just rip into
Yeah.
someone while you heal
Magical
them
torture.
continuously.
Cast regeneration.
Easy's fine. But everybody else...
Easy's always fine.
No,
Well,
his ears were a little ringy for a little bit.
My ears hurt.
Yeah.
that's
And
the
I
worst.
threw
think
up.
that's happened to us.
I threw up and my ears hurt.
Everyone else
now
actively
you're
getting
hungry.
mauled. He's like,
Everyone else barely alive. Easy's like, my
I'm
tummy.
nauseous.
My
Do you know
tummy.
drama?
I feel a little... My tummy's a little unsettled. I get
realized.
motion sick in big
Oh.
fights.
no, just like, oh, Cammy, that doesn't look good.
I missed the crit specter in that fight.
As we... Oh, yeah, the second
Oh,
one.
the second one, I could just knock him 10 feet further away.
As we come back in here, the first priority to all of you, clearly, before anything else, is making sure Marius is safe. He is unconscious and desperately injured. The group of you would have, I imagine, hurried over after the battle fell silent.
We'll come back for him later.
We've made sure it didn't get worse, but we come back now to you, my friends. How you doing?
We got a lot of mud around from.
Yeah, we got plenty of mud.
Get you healed right up.
Well, with everything happening and not knowing what necessarily might go on in the near future at the camp, I would probably, after he is stabilized, want to scoop him up and take him over to the now what is presumably empty doorway, because I don't know if the cult's friendly to us anymore.
As
Oh, we have our friendlies in the pantry area.
As you're up here, you are right near the door to the pantry, which is still closed, and whether or not it's barricaded on the other side, you can't immediately tell. But as you scoop up Marius, a dwarven woman, one shoulder slumped a little, ladle still in hand, just kind of dragging back on the floor.
You did
Walks past you guys, glares at Easy,
That was incredible.
glares at Cammy, and then walks over to his door and tries the handle, and then just raises a leg and just boots the pantry open. Come on, then.
Let's get in and be a little safer, at least.
Do we, as characters, know how ghouls are made? We know Clades talked about in the day the bodies will turn.
You know it's a disease because Cammy made that knowledge check. You would know it's a plague, and that it's virulent, and that it's possible that all of you might be subjected to it.
Except for me.
Except Easy.
You
Unless it
all
goes
are
airborne,
turns
Easy's
and
fine.
Can I get the hand that Glades had around his neck?
I also want his kukri.
Easy would quickly scoop up the hand necklace and that Pharasmin knife off of Clades' body and hurry after you.
And
The group of you reconvene in the pantry where There's plenty of space on the side of the room. The dwarf would even just point over there if you to lay Marius down. You don't look like hell.
Yeah, that's what fighting a horde of ghouls does.
It was a damn good fight, though, weren't it?
Absolutely.
Oh, it gets the blood pumping. I haven't been involved in a scrap like that since when I was a wee lass. It's been, what, 10, 20 years, maybe? Oh!
Did a damn good job.
Ah, you as well. I saw you running after that one-handed, whatever he was. He only had one arm, but he looked like he was 3 times as strong as most of the rest of his fellows.
Just about.
For you, dwarven lady. And I present you the hand. The trophy?
And she just kind of tapped with the ladle. I ain't the one I killed. The ones I killed, skulls bashed into the ground and tumbled across the grass. I had perfectly good trophies taken of the memories of whacking them. And right here, there's dent on the tip of the ladle. And she points in the bowls, kind of like just inward where she
I'll
smacked
pull
him.
out the tray with the face implant and the face imprint in it from that first doppelganger.
She'll just literally tap her ladle to that. That's all the trophy I need. And she turns around and just drops the ladle back in the stew pot. And then turns
I think they're flirting still.
back to the group of you here.
Cammy's like making eyes like, ooh, like to the rest of the group. But
All right.
see what's happening here?
What happened to him?
You got
The big
bit.
one.
He got bit.
Yeah,
he
we all
ran.
got bit.
He
When
got-
fighting ghouls, what happens?
Oh, he got bit. He ran. He got bit again.
I saw this one get bit some 10, 15 times. She's still looking fine.
Literally just.
Cammy's just like 100 yards to like just staring in the distance, like slightly shaking.
She's built like a schoolgirl and she's walking her off. And he can't do nothing?
Well, that one kept pumping magic into her.
Ah, I see all that. I didn't see none of that happening.
I think
right
I
there.
died 3 times.
They got better.
Huh?
Respect towards Marius. They can take him to the infirmary.
Oh,
I imagine they're going to be plenty busy the next couple of days with a whole host of things. I should probably head there myself. She just kind of motions to like a blood that is soaked through the leather apron she's got drawn across her, and you can clearly see where a ghoul's bit in pretty well on her shoulder.
We've caused quite a mess in the cult. I don't know how this is gonna play out for us.
What do you mean? Everything I saw, the best you did is you can fight the ghouls out of there. If it weren't for you, the mess would have been a far shade worse.
But disobeying Grandma.
I knocked over the barrier.
You bloody what now?
I knocked over the barrier.
For what conceivable reason?
We baited the ghouls in.
So that we can bait the ghouls in and attack them from a more advantageous position.
Now there's no more.
You lot are grade A psychopaths.
That's why we're here.
Supposedly that's why we all are, but there's, grades of these things. There's personality issues and ain't sleeping well, and then there's you lot. Stuff's wrong with you, like proper wrong.
Who told you that? Who? Where'd you hear that?
We won, didn't we?
Damn well we did.
And now there's less mouths to feed.
Grim way of looking at it, but you ain't wrong.
It's a win-win. And we have more territory.
And the ghouls are gone.
The
Hopefully.
ghouls are gone. You said you spoke with him. That one-handed bugger, is that their leader?
Yeah.
Acted like it.
Made a deal with them. Wanted us to sell you all out.
Eh.
Easier to use it to our advantage.
Oh, so that's how you baited him in. You told him you'd take down the wall, but they just thought you'd be fighting for them, or keeping hands off at least.
Yep.
Again, absolute unremorseful psychopaths. Insane, every last one of you. You truly
worked.
belong here. You'll have to find a new facility once we get out of this one, because I think they're going to be closing their doors for some time. And even as she says that, you feel another tremor rack the building.
I'm-
And some more rubble kind of tumbles down from the hole in the southern wall. It's enough to shake you a little bit. You hear even Marius' armor and his blade rattling a bit.
I don't know. I feel like this is a grade A facility. I've never felt better.
Was, honestly.
Well, the best I can remember. See, I look over at Cam. That's a joke.
Ha 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 ha!
We have amnesia.
I guess pick him up and drag him to the infirmary with the rest. We'll be counting bodies for the rest of the afternoon, I imagine. Well, I don't know. The ghouls look like they made off with quite a few of them. Maybe not.
And we need to get together a little group to look for the bodies.
As you went out into the fog, you wouldn't have immediately seen any sign of the ones that were dragged off. You're not sure where they went.
While we're organizing and healing and counting the bodies, I'd probably just take a few people that were armed and go look for the bodies so that we can at least deal with those before they turn.
You would haul Marius back to the infirmary where he would be with, it's no lie, an impressive number of people. Dr. Elborn is nowhere to be seen. So it's just a bunch of patients trying to figure out how best to treat themselves and each other. At least there's some supplies here. There's stitching kits, there's gauze, there's rubbing alcohol and disinfectants. There's some resources. But the doctor is no longer in. Where he went after you gave him the potion, or you could cast a spell on
I
him.
cast a spell. I'm just yelling through the halls like, Elmore!
Hopefully he
helped you.
decided to just leave and go to the other camp, but
You yell through the camp and nothing happens. The southern doors are still closed. The cult has been decimated. What's left of them is still, at this point, mostly in the infirmary. They are injured, and those that fell, those that are left, 2 more bodies are currently just laying out by the wall with no one with the time to bury or to tend to them. There's too much to do. You grab a couple of the defenders, as that's pretty much what's left, and bring them out into the courtyard to go try and quickly look around to see if you can find these bodies. You don't see them anywhere where you look around the middle of the yard. As you walk out to where the battle had taken place, where you fought Clades, where Clades' body and the several dead ghouls are still strewn across the grass. Anyone go with him?
I'll go with him.
Trey and MD would again see a large shape moving through the edge of the mist. It would come a little closer. It really does look like a white horse. Shape and size and all, but you can't make it out super clearly. It doesn't ever come closer than just the fringes of your vision.
I'm not going near that.
I
It's
think
a
we should avoid
pony.
that.
It's the people.
If something looks innocuous and it's out here, it's not innocuous.
You would need to take some time to recover your wounds, I imagine, as, again, save easy, whose tummy feels a little unsettled.
I only got 1 nibble.
I have tinnitus.
You're all pretty injured.
I'm at 13 health left.
Is it time for the old lay on hands machine?
With the lay on hands machine and the medicine checks, you would still take quite some time to bring yourselves back, especially because there's just so much in the infirmary. In fact, you may even find it easier to patch yourselves up outside the infirmary, just in the camp or in the kitchen, somewhere else where there's some more space. Did any of you leave the camp other than Trey and MD who went out to look for the bodies?
I'll just poke out because the south door was not opened,
No, the one that goes to where you had found Debus? No, that door was still closed.
and then the stairs way up still has like the acolytes, whatever. Guarding.
I mean, the stairway up wouldn't have anything immediately. I mean, it's empty as usual, surrounded by those crucified bodies. A constant reminder of what this camp really is. So you going up there?
No, I just wanted to see if there's anybody on guard of it.
Nobody on the guard at the bottom, no. It's a stairs and a landing, stairs and a landing and stairs. So you'd have to go most of the way up to be able to see anything around the top. As Marius comes to, well, let's first talk about what happens while you're out. You had your, you got given the short sword. You had the short sword, right?
Yes.
When you had gone back to look out for the corpses, MD and Trey, you would have walked past a part of Marius's kit that had just kind of tumbled to the ground, that had been left free. In this scuffle, in this battle, his belt, his sheath, and his clan dagger, and his main satchel would have been knocked loose and ripped off somewhere in this attack Clades had mounted upon him. When you went out, you saw something new to you. You've slept in here a couple of times, clutching that clan dagger close, and you've always had this vision of this strange but comforting empty mountain. This time, when Clades hit you, everything went black for a moment. When you wake up, it is not in the camp. It is not in the infirmary. It is on the ground in what looks like the middle of a street in a small fishing village. Ramshackle buildings down either side. They look empty but not abandoned, as if day-to-day life here had simply stopped. All around you is a very, very thin, eddying layer of this yellow fog. And out in the distance, you can see it rolls down into a thicker bank at what looks like it might be the sea. It might be a massive lake. It's difficult to tell. But there is an island in that water, and on it, a tower.
I'm just as kind of confused in the state of the dream, kind of figuring out whether I'm dead or in a dream, or if I even remember how much of the fight just happened. And I guess I'll be slowly walking toward the lake and the tower. It seems to be the most noteworthy thing around me.
It appears to be nighttime. In the asylum, as long as you've been there, the fog has never been thin enough for you to see the sky. And there's never been any indication of passing daylight. It's always just this muted glow throughout the outside. But here, the sky above is clear. Overcast, sure, but visible. And shining through a thin layer of clouds is a big, bright, pale, full moon. It's the direction you're walking. In fact, almost perfectly aligned with the top of this tower as you walk toward it, almost as if it was set above it, resting on the stone. You make your way down towards the shore. The fog is thickest. You see there are some wooden piers. Looks like a sizable dock, but ones that would not serve as a boat of any real size. Still, this journey you see no signs of life. Nobody anywhere.
Anything as I approach the docks, like looking in the water too, any signs of movement? Anything along the docks?
Absolutely nothing at all. No wind blows. No footsteps. No. You can hear in the distance that sound like the calls of crows and errant birds and owl, but they sound wrong, as if they're almost not even there. Until finally you hear the sound of metal on metal, the sound of a small blade unsheathing, the sound of a razor unfolding. You turn around to see a figure you have heard talked about by the apostles in Orpiment many, many times, that your new allies have spoken of, but one that you have never seen in the flesh. A tall figure wrapped in tattered yellow strips of cloth, rags, one bound around his eyes and top of his head, revealing nothing but pale skin and pointed teeth, as he slowly approaches this jagged razor in his hand.
I'm gonna back away slowly at first, and if I make any, a few steps backward, try to, I guess, dive off the dock and into the water.
As you start to move away, you throw yourself into this water. It's dark, almost inky blackness with just the light of that moon above. And vision drops away almost completely. It is cold, but that doesn't matter to you as you dive in, dive deep, and try to get away. You plunge into this unthinkingly, almost in a panic. And what do you do? Where are you trying to go? You go down, you go out, you going under a dock? What are you...
Oh, swimming away. If you can see the moon, you said it was kind of out over. I'm probably just going to use that to guide me like a moth going toward light.
Towards this reflection out through the water, you just start to swim. You go for a bit of a distance before you even look back behind you, and you see the fog is thickened heavily in the town, obscuring most of it entirely. You can barely see the shore and the docks. As you turn forward, the moon has moved just enough to perfectly align now on top of this tower, sitting like a marble. You see no sign of this figure pursuing, no wake, no movement in the water behind you to indicate he was following. As you turn back forward towards this tower, this island, a hand shoots up out of the water, grabs you by the shoulder, and pulls you in. You can't feel anything save for this grip. You can't see through this dark water. But you feel a warm, bubbling breath near you, and then a blade shoot across your throat. You shoot awake at the camp. Back wherever these fellows have set you up with, I imagine, Cammy leaning over you, desperately trying to bring you back, and you see Marius's eyes fly open.
He's back. I removed the lizard from my eye, like as if it was like goggles. Yeah, he's here. You follow? You see my finger? Follow it.
Oh my god! What? Where are you? What happened? Where is everybody okay? What? Are you okay? What happened?
Oh, we beat him up. Not decisively, but
And you can clearly see your allies are much more injured than last you saw them at the start of the fight.
So this has only been a short while later.
I imagine he's probably the first one you're bringing up. This is probably like
Oh, yeah.
immediately after you find a place to lay him down and heal him.
Just making sure.
Because probably even before you've headed out to go look for bodies. Maybe while you're going out there and you're splitting focus.
I think I saw the tattered man and Cammy, are you okay? I'm sorry I ran.
no, I'm okay. You
I'm
saw
sorry.
no, hold on. You saw
Yeah.
the tattered man.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I'm gonna call everybody over if they're not here. Like,
we have a group for this kind of thing.
yeah.
A support group.
Yeah.
Man. The party convenes around you in a few moments. Ready to hear this.
Yeah, and just another dream. I was in like a small like fishing town, and he just appeared there, and dragged me under the water.
Was there a tower? As I'm saying this, I throw his stuff with his clan dagger on top because I'm assuming dwarven clan daggers are common knowledge.
Yeah.
It's like I see you clutching this tonight here. I throw all his stuff on top of him with no like ceremony at all. Was there a tower? The moon was sitting on top of it like it belonged.
I take this stuff and like a nod. Thank you. Yeah, there was.
Welcome to the party. You seem what
One
we've
of
seen.
us.
One of us. One of us. One of us.
That's the exact same dream we had when we first woke up here. Of course, there was a old lady in a hut and a lot of murder.
Is that a few renditions?
I exploded.
Immediate.
It was sick.
Did he?
That's unpleasant.
Did the Tatterman talk to you?
No. I don't know if he would have tried. I just kind of ran.
Oh, he's an excellent conversationalist, actually. Very wordy.
As you
It's not what I would have gotten looking at him.
as you sit around with your party, Marius looking at them, I mean, you just got enough feeling to be conscious, so you are absolutely still ripped to shreds. This chunk missing from your neck is, well, still kind of a hole, probably just sort of filled with like gauze or cloth or something for right now. Literally just sort of wadded in there to try and stop you from bleeding out. You feel like absolute hell. You feel like you shouldn't be alive right now. Coming back from that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The group of you would take some time to heal up. It would I imagine take a moment. Sorry, I'm gonna throw that at you. It would take a bit to get all of you up. With the lay on hands that Cammy can put out continuously, that does take her 10 minutes to continue, like to keep pulling this back in. It's not something she can just pump out constantly. She's really just got to like well up this energy, and then she can put it into somebody. And then between that, she can supplant it with medicine checks, traditional healing, trying to get the two of you, or the group, the four of you, I suppose, not the two of you, all of you, up to par as well as you can. You are left largely alone in the back of the camp behind the infirmary, licking your wounds.
And of course, I can help with the medicine check too. So I'm not the greatest, but I can hold stuff.
Oh, you can be Sue Doctor.
Sue doctor,
That's how
a
it
nurse,
works, right?
a nurse.
I'm pretty sure I know what it's called.
Sue Doctor. Well, while all this is going on, I can just start rebuilding the barrier.
Oh, excellent.
Probably a good idea to get that going again.
That is a pretty good idea.
Ghouls are gone, but that doesn't mean everything else is.
There's a big white horse out there.
True.
That's spooky.
He
It's a
shared
ghost
his
horse.
discovery. Over time, as you are tending up, as you are getting more of these lay on hands out, you notice the extent of Marius' injuries appear to be quite severe. Obviously, you are not going to be able to use band-aids to replace an entire chunk that is missing from his neck. And the amount of magic that's in lay on hands is going to like help, but it's going to take several applications
take me
to
some
undo that
time.
one. But normally, the way this magic works is like what happened with Golden Corral.
I'm actually really familiar with that.
It literally,
like, intimately
like you
familiar.
infuse this energy, this positive energy in, and it causes the skin to like physically regrow and come back together. It's not perfect. Like wounds like that's probably some pretty heavy scarring, but its effects are visible and largely immediate. After an application of lay on hands or two, the wound, packed up as it is, has stopped being a bleeding to death risk, but it's not closing at all. You feel it might be too severe an injury to be healed easily with fairly weak magics.
Oh.
You'll be able to like mechanically restore his hit points, but that spell's not going to be enough to put the pound of flesh back in him.
Oh my gosh. Is there like, I don't know if this would be like a recall knowledge from it. Like, is there a way where I could, like, is it something where I could stitch it? Is there like an extra procedure I could do?
Make me a medicine check.
Well, it's a 9 on the dice. That's a 16.
Well, 16, you would... You don't know how a wound like that's going to heal.
Yeah.
It's the kind of wound that without like immediate medical and magical intervention would just kill you. Like that's just how that is. It's a kind of a miracle he's alive, honestly. You think that's not all gonna come back. That's even if it does, you're just not really gonna feel anything over here anymore. You might just have a big old chunk missing out of you. Right here.
You ever
Right
seen
at that level.
somebody like after they get attacked by a shark and they've healed up and everything?
The skin will kind of grow back over it, but it'll look kind of like knotted and
Yeah.
thick. And it's still going to clearly
that area will
Yeah.
always clearly have a visible like
a degree of concave.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a long time. You've maybe heard like stories of magic that can fix this, but that's like the most potent of clerics could possibly do something to repair that.
Okay, so I got some bad news, big guy. I can't do anything about that. That's he really really left a dent in you.
Yeah.
Ha!
This is
Sorry. I can't do anything about that.
It doesn't seem like something that you just kind of magically put back in.
No, it's kind of MIA right now, that part of your shoulder, so...
Bright side is you have a story to tell with it. The
That's
time
true.
you fought a ghoul and lived.
Mostly.
And lost a lot of blood. He would. Another thing magic doesn't do is it can help with that somewhat, but he has lost a lot of blood. Marius is going to be pretty pale right now.
We say fought. It's more like you ran from a ghoul and then died eviscerated on the ground. But
I don't blame
or
him
that.
for running
Got
after
it,
the
Bran.
boss
Got it
1v1
again.
him.
I do. MD
Oh
does.
gosh. Would it be possible while I'm doing this like mass amount of healing and like fiddling with mud and whatever we've got in the fiddling with all of these things, lots of busy work, right? Let's remember that. Would it be possible for me to kind of disguise the action of examining some of these powders that I got from my chest while I'm doing various medicine-y stuff?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll just give it to you. You got a bunch of little powders and oils down there, and well, there's a lot of stuff going on. Everyone's pretty distracted by not only their own wounds, but Marius's phenomenal injuries that he has accrued. You look through a bunch of them. They are a wide variety of different things. Uncorking a couple of these, and maybe powder's not really the right word. It's pretty thick. It's got like visibly thick grains, almost like a couple of them are like a sand and up to almost like a salt sort of thing. And you can't immediately, like they're unlabeled, tell exactly what they're for, but each of those various flasks that were sealed very well have a pretty powerful aroma, and they're all quite different. You think they might be a set of smelling salts that, if dissolved in something, would just disperse this aroma throughout the room, but they aren't pleasant. Most of them, they're just really, really strong. You would have come across in an asylum things that were used for a kind of similar purpose. One of the flasks would immediately, like, you would have to fight to not gag the second you open it because it is so strong, even just in its solid form. Things like this are sometimes used as part of diagnosing patients or to check, not just with things like narcolepsy, but any other kind of like unconsciousness. The word for unconscious, I can't remember. what the
Catatonic.
word- Yeah, not catatonic. There's another word for it.
Comatose.
But just to see if patients would respond at all, because it's so potent and so vile that like
Unresponsive.
you will like naturally react, even if like you are otherwise unresponsive. It's a super powerful stimulus.
Have you guys ever actually had smelling salts? Like, and
They're ridiculously strong.
it hurts.
It's like physically painful. It's so pungent. So like this would burn in your nose.
like, I have a fantastic
open it.
pain tolerance, and I was stunned for at least 6 or 7 seconds.
So at one point in this, Cammy would definitely, like, your eyes would be watering, your face would be red, your nose would be running, and you're not really sure what happened, but she'd be like, it's fine.
You don't have to cry about it. It's okay. It's death.
Two of them.
Yeah, I really worked up.
Two of them would not actually have a scent. One, they would both be small sand-like grains. One sort of off-white, and one more. It looks like it could literally be gunpowder, but it doesn't have the smell.
Beans.
I mean, you've got little cartridges. You've got gunpowder for your bullets, but
I want more.
and looking through those, what would you do to try to figure out what one of these did if it didn't immediately have an apparent effect or odor?
I would, if not an apparent odor,
Don't
have.
eat the
Nobody-
gunpowder.
Yummy. If there's no apparent odor, and if there wasn't any sort of like I couldn't identify, I'd like take some on my finger, rub it between my fingers, give it a sniff, and then I would put my fingers all the way into my mouth, just straight in.
Do it.
I give it a little lick. If there's no other way to, I'll exhaust every other option.
You've been like
Which one are you
medically
doing first?
treating
Off-white
people.
or grayish?
Or what?
Which one are you doing first? Off-white or grayish?
Oh, grayish. I thought you said grayish. I was like, oh.
Grayish is a new color. It's like
beige,
gray
gray.
beige.
Yeah, it's
Right,
between
that
gray and
is
beige.
It's the least exciting color that exists. What, off-white or grayish? I'm sticking with it now.
That just feels like a bad idea.
It is.
Probably because it is. So which one are you doing first?
It's just a little tiny bit of it.
Contact poison. Let's go.
Off-white.
You take the off-white one. You rub it between your fingers. You don't immediately feel anything. You just got like a little dusting on your fingertips.
Yeah.
And nothing's
Powdered
immediately
sugar.
apparent. You put it in your mouth. It doesn't taste like anything. You're like, weird. I don't know. And while you're trying to figure out, what happens if you eat itching powder? While you're trying to figure out,
If you eat what?
That is
Your-
that is contact because
your
the same thing happened with the contact
fingers-
that she drank.
start to at first just like itch and tingle, and then they start to burn. And you look down, and your fingertips are bright red where they had touched it. I have no concept of what this would do to the inside of your mouth.
Burn.
I imagine also burn. And this would quite literally be developing at least a very small, exceptionally, like painfully itchy rash on the tip of your tongue where you tasted it. The tip of your tongue would actually start to like turn white and blister, whereas your fingers are just kind of turning red and the skin modeling a little.
Ugh. I guess it means I can't lick the grayish one.
No, now you have more
That's
surface
I'm not
area.
gonna stop you.
You have more surface area to lick it with now.
What if this is the antidote to the itches?
Yeah, the colors are opposite, so they cancel
Really,
each other out.
It's an exceptionally powerful irritant. You're not sure exactly what it is, but just contact with your skin is within seconds, like developing against like a painfully itchy rash. It's real good to use a very small amount of it.
That is good to know.
I don't think that is good to know.
And
I love it.
as you put this in your mouth and realize what's happening, this pain, the distracting for a moment, is replaced with a thought, with a memory. Something back in your head unlocking. You see yourself sitting in what looks like an alchemical laboratory. Stone walls, a room well lit by lanterns, a great amount of supplies around you. You can't identify where it is or if this lab is yours or someone else's, but you have a bunch of stuff in front of you: projects, brewing, distilling, and several of these little flasks and vials. Their powder's just kind of splayed out in little mounds on bits of paper. You pull out a little flask that looks like it's been pretty well burned out, the bottom of it charred, and what's left in the bottom is just a grainy precipitate of something that looks exactly like that powder. You turn it over, and you feel excited. Big ol' smile on your face as you tap it on the table. Yes. Okay. And you just kind of touch it with your fingertips and then just look at it. A couple of the grains just sort of spread across your fingers as you wait. Come on. Oh, there it is. And it starts to burn and your whole hand starts to turn red. Oh, that's a good one. Oh yeah, that's the one. And then you're back sitting here, your fingers burning and itching with this same familiar sensation. You made this.
She's doping on itchy powder.
She's a masochist.
Cammy would kind of come to and like look around like,
You found your new favorite snack. Whenever you're feeling down, just a little dabble, and you'll be right.
Now, it does not feel good. You do not enjoy this sensation. Let me be clear. You don't like this feeling it makes you feel.
Previous, you enjoyed
It
it.
hurts. It is miserable, and that's just on the tips of your fingers. You slapped your hand in it. That must have been terrible. You have no idea how long it's gonna last.
I feel like Cammy's in like a state of like intense pain, like wincing, but like this grin of like excitement, but like tense from like all of the pulsing pain coming from like her mouth and her fingers, like, yeah.
It couldn't have been worse than being constantly eaten by a ghoul.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to being eaten by a ghoul, where does this itching powder fall?
I mean, it's still itching powder, so probably like a 3 or a 4. Because
pretty
like
bad.
your 10 is very high.
Well,
I've been
on
to
the
10.
pain scale, it's probably not that high. On the nuisance scale, this
true.
is
Yeah, it's just
incredibly hard to ignore.
Oh man, it is itchy. It does not feel good.
on
The
the
tip
tip
of your
of your
tongue's almost like
fingers.
no, it's right on your fingertips, on your index and your middle
What's worse
finger.
is if you go to scratch it, you're now spreading the powder.
It doesn't. It's like a burning itch. You can like rub it against the side of your lab coat and everything. And it helps for a middle, but the pads of your fingers are so for a second, but they're so thick. There's like it itches again immediately.
I'm downright diabolical.
Replace the salt in
mean-
the kitchen.
Am I able to lick the great one?
Gotta move around for one. Let's try for another.
This is great.
Look, you found out the stove was hot, but you still don't know if the other appliances are hot.
Why not? You take a little bit of the gray stuff
The
out.
stove was hot. Is the blender sharp?
The gray one is much less of a consistent texture. Whereas much of the rest of these powders look like they were very possibly, brewed in a lab. They are extremely
Aha.
consistent grains. This looks like it's a crushed something, almost like very finely ground black pepper. There's even little flecks of different colors in there. You're not sure what it is. It's got a very light odor to it. I assume you're still taking a very small amount.
Oh, yes.
And you put it in your mouth. Make a fortitude save.
Okay.
It's just salt and
here
pepper.
We go. 13 on the die, so 19.
Took a very small amount. You?
I'm blessed.
No, you're good.
Okay.
19's definitely good. You took a very small amount. You put it in your mouth. It doesn't really taste like anything. It's definitely not pepper. But it does have a very, very, that's a great, it's almost exactly that kind of consistency. And, I don't know.
That was the whole bottle.
I'll take a little bit more.
We're talking like a few grains, and just
It's like, yeah, you just dab your finger in.
well, you know that
That's
this
not what
isn't
you-
itching powder.
That's not what you're doing.
No, you
I
know
know.
that this is not itching
I'll
powder
rub it in my
because it's
fingers
You,
like before.
you
I'll see
put
if
a little more in your mouth.
anything on my palm, maybe.
Here.
I'm scattering it out. I don't want
And
that.
you don't want that.
No, I don't want. I know what happens when
At
you
this
touch
point,
that.
you're trying to do this subtly, right? You don't want the party to see this. You don't want to see you going through your weird little things.
Yes.
So, let's
My
say
trinkets.
MD sort of comes over. You don't feel like any effect on this really, but you turn and look towards MD as he approaches, and you just sort of look up at him and sidle your little thing away and just kind of sit there and wait. MD, as you walk up to Cammy, you see Cammy's head snap towards you. Her pupils are pretty dilated, and there's a little bit of drool in the corner of her mouth. Just
I've
like
gone feral.
you are
The medic
high.
The medic found the morphine.
That is Pesh.
What's
oh,
Pesh?
oh boy.
What's
so-
Pesh?
Sure.
This is
So
Hey.
Pesh is a lovely little drug made from a flower concentrate. You might also know a real life equivalent called opium.
It's you kind of just
I made
ate-
opium.
Not
sorta
only did you
just
put
ate, you're supposed to smoke that, but I mean you kind of just ate.
It's
Some,
also there's also
yeah.
a whole city named after it.
it's also
it's a burgeoning
very
industry here in
addictive.
Galarian.
So
She
Cam,
passed the
Wait,
fort
am I-
save. She passed the fort save.
It's still very addictive. It's
Am I an addict?
She passed the fort
You
save.
passed the fort save.
so
For now.
I personally am very familiar with Pesh because one of my previous characters had an entire thing with Pesh and
It was
he
a
would
little
craft
bit
it
of a
and
side
stuff.
hustle going at
So
some
I-
point, but
I know a lot of stuff about Pesh. It's fun.
So
he wasn't. He was kind of evil. But you
Drug dealer?
you
Chaotic evil
feel
drug
like
dealer.
at this point you start to feel like a little bit like a little bit off, but you can't put your finger on what it is. You are much more out of it than you feel like you are. Because like you said, it's kind of an analog to opium. So it's like big downer.
Cammy's in Depeche mode now.
Yeah.
And you even though you like kind of snap to him, you don't really know. You're clearly not used to it. And you are a gnome. And these things don't affect you the same way they necessarily would more mortal races. So,
Cammy, what did you?
I'm learning so much about myself.
Cammy, what did you find?
Huh?
What did you?
Huh?
What did you?
Technically, morphine.
What is? Up here.
Why are you snapping at me? Don't
She's
do
like
that.
looking the other ways.
I'm doing medicine. I'm doing
Just
medicine.
the drool slow.
her eyes are like a little bit. She looks like a chameleon right now.
Just grab a rag out of her pocket and wipe her mouth. Like
Ah.
you're drooling.
Bleh.
You're drooling.
Ah. Everybody shut up. Nobody else is talking. I'm trying to do something.
It is mildly hallucinogenic. So
I'm gonna just pick her up and bring her back to the rest of the group. I don't know what she got into, Trey. We took our eyes off her for a second.
And you would see on the floor, over from where you brought her, a little. This one would be more of like a little leather pouch that was kind of bound, not really sealed, just sort of dragging itself across the floor. And you see Blue just shimmer into existence, bagging up,
It's my boy.
dragging this little bag of pesh over towards you, and he kind of looks up at you and just.
Must have found something in the medical supplies. I can take a look at it.
No, that's my mother's ashes. You
He's holding it for a friend.
I'm going to take a
Take
look at
it,
what's
Trey.
in the
I'm just
bag.
still holding
gotta
her
try and get
under
it
my
first.
arm.
That's my mother's ashes.
You could try and take it from them? Like, you could snatch it. I mean, it's yours. If you just, like, snatch it.
Something she has clearly taken is wrong. This is going to be a, like, I am taking this from a child.
Give it back. It's not mine.
She is kind of a child.
Yeah.
All right, you pick up this pouch and look in, and you
I can just make a crafting check.
give me one moment. I'm thinking. You don't have like tools or supplies to really. I mean, all you can really do is kind of smell it and look at it. Easy would recognize refined pesh.
I'm like,
That's not a
fellow.
surprise. That's not a
normal guy.
surprise. Just a
Magic
normal.
users get it.
He would look down and smell that smell, and he's like, "You know." it."
yeah. I was just like looking at my book with like Clay's hand around my neck.
If you sniff, I'm just gonna look at you like, no. don't you say it.
Some- yeah, that's definitely ashes. It's I'm sorry about your mother.
Thank you. I'm crying.
Do you want to make a deception check?
Make a deception check, easy. Absolutely make a deception check.
Okay,
Back on this.
Yeah.
7 plus 9 is to 16.
What's your perception, DC?
That's exact.
I'm 17.
You have no reason not to believe him. I
So,
mean, he sounds like
he doesn't believe it.
Trey's like weird, but okay. Yeah, Trey, you're like, Trey, you
Sure.
got no reason not to believe him.
Assist with this
So
life.
like PvP deception checks do not immediately mean you have to believe them, but like you have no reason to not.
It's just
you
like,
have no reason to think he's like
okay.
he doesn't seem like he's lying. You don't pick up anything.
You've no reason
MD
to
is like
Yeah, I mean,
you.
Cammy's been through a
No,
lot recently. You know, she,
Not
I'll
going
ask
to
my mother.
deception. Did I see her taste it though?
Probably not.
no,
She's doing all this
no.
kind of
Oh,
off
she's doing all-
You're
I
in,
could play that off.
you're in the blinding pain. Blinding pain.
Just
section
making
of your
sure
life
there's
over
still
here.
the ashes. I gotta taste them.
Yeah, so like
Maybe we
just
should-
looking at it, he says, "Yeah, that's ashes." And I'm like, "Sure," and just close the bag. I'm not really paying attention to that. And just hand the bag back.
Maybe we should just spread the ashes
Honestly-
in a ceremonial.
Hey, gnome rituals are probably different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rituals are so. That's actually really, really insensitive.
Is it very insensitive?
They're very insensitive.
How'd you get ashes of a gnome?
Why is it in such a small container?
Well, that's normal.
If anything, that makes sense. That tracks. That's a point for her.
Cammy's been through a lot.
Well,
I've been through a lot.
Let's give some slack.
she's going through a lot right now. But anyways, that
Just give her the once over.
whatever
like,
you.
check her eyes and stuff. Like,
Oh, she's fine.
She's listening to one
Yeah,
side.
I think
Are you
Yeah.
guys planning on sleeping? Are you planning on long resting here? I know it's. Well, I know you guys. You can
feel like
heal up
I'm
to
long
full given
resting
a couple
already.
of hours. If you want to wait till the night and sleep, I mean, you don't know. After a couple of hours, the camp has sort of recovered itself. It's much smaller now, but things seem to be functional. You haven't seen Grandma come down. You still haven't seen hide or hair of Xandalus or Dr. Elborn. Are you heading back out, or are you planning on recuperating further?
For what it's worth, we should go check that wing, find the bodies, and stop more ghouls from spawning. There's none right now to worry about fighting, but we need to deal with them. Can't let them get back up. Gammy is absolutely lost. She's
Find the
blasted.
Get the ghouls.
Now that would. Are you heading back out?
Yeah, well,
like
yeah.
it's the safest
After-
time realistically.
After, let's say 2 hours.
What is my HP at right now? Because I just haven't written anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like after 2 hours, you would be healed to full because we with her lay on hands and with medicine checks, you can just heal to full till you're there. I'm not making us roll it out. She has a literally unfailable, consistent throughput of healing. So I just give you guys a time.
Okay.
2 hours. It is late afternoon at this point. This is still the same day that you had met Clades. This is, if anything, it's probably past late afternoon. It's definitely into evening. This is the same day you met Clades. You came here, you set all this up and all into motion, and everything fell apart with such incredible rapidity. The cult has taken the time that you were healing to attempt to put up some facsimile of what was once their barricade, but it's still not much of a blockade.
I do want to talk to them though, and just be like, when they're all quarantined in the kitchen, I'll come with like the necklace and be like, all right, so your old leaders were hiding upstairs and didn't help. Your new leader's the cook. We're gonna go root out all the ghouls.
You promoting the cook?
Cook's your new leader. The quarantine is over because it was ghoul plague and the ghouls are dead now. So you're good.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
That's how it
I
works.
like-
They're dead.
My favorite part about this whole thing is he's claimed Clade's hand as a trophy, but he didn't hurt
He
Clade's
just
one.
stood there and played a violin the whole time.
I offered it to the cook and she's like, I don't want it, so it's mine. And then I'm like, yes, she's your leader. We're gonna go save the day. Don't trust Loomis and have a good.
And these are the folk that you had quarantined out because they were not really loyal to the cult. So these
They're
are people
actually
that
loyal to me.
would a lot of them are loyal to you. You made a competing
I
cult.
have a new cult?
This would be something would readily accept, and at this point, they would outnumber the rest of the cultists in the camp significantly. There would really only be barely. Now this is looking much more like the church setup. There'd be maybe 15, 18 cultists left total. 10 of those you'd quarantined out beforehand. Who knows what numbers upstairs with Loomis or Xandalus? Gesundheit. It's all that pesh. It's not good for you.
And the itching powder.
It's like on her nose. You would no longer be feeling the effects of this. With the small amount that you took, you would have only felt it for
beans.
like by the time. Unless you really want to, but you gotta
I'm kidding.
stop
I'm
doing
good.
that patch. Like
Oh my god.
You know, I'm really happy to see that you haven't become a pessimist.
you would
I'm walking ahead of the group. I'm
head back to the kitchen,
Childish.
through the pantry, and back out into the rehab wing. No ghouls would meet you in the courtyard, and as you entered the halls of this wing, that near broken and damaged wall, and seemingly near collapse on your left, no sounds or signs of any ghouls in the wing either. You see, it would be clear and obvious as you come in from outside, a smeared streak of blood across the tile where bodies have clearly been dragged recently.
That's where we're
They
going.
came in this door and they were dragged to the pool room where you had met Clades.
That's where we're going.
I'll just take the lead. Straight back over there.
You make your way right back the same route that you'd followed the first time. Double doors to the saunas, and you look inside. You open the doors again to the same scene that you'd witnessed before. This pool, smeared and slicked with blood and gore, its pit filled with corpses. But you see numerous 5, 6, 7 fresh cultist bodies that have been laid out on the tile along the side of the pool. The corpses have all clearly been bit and ravaged by ghouls. 2 of them are pretty mutilated. The other 5 look like they died fairly quickly and were taken down in a few hits. In this room are 2 more ghouls. One that you'd seen before, the one that was kind of down on all fours. It looked almost more feral, didn't really talk. And one, a woman that looks like she was small for a half-orc, relatively lean. That old green skin of hers, a pale, mottled, almost brownish color with this ghoulish state. She looks like she once had pretty thick black hair that's mostly entirely gone, and it's just kind of patches, and even a large chunk of what looks like it was a rolled braid on the side of her head is just kind of hanging loose and open with how much of it has fallen away in her own death. And they both look at you, and she kind of bares her fangs. It doesn't move at you, doesn't say anything. It's kind of clearly half-hearted.
Tell you to what? Decapitate those bodies, and I don't care where you go, what you do.
Did we lose?
Point at the hand.
Handedly.
And she is staring at that.
I have no qualms against either of you. Stop making ghouls here, making problems for us. Free to go.
I've no reason to argue that.
Hell,
Why would I want more?
you can stay here.
Like gesturing to this room.
Why would we need more? This is horrible.
And she'll look down at her friend, who looks up kind of confused, like he's not entirely sure what's going on. You get the feeling this other ghoul is not really all there, and he might not have
It's a
been
spectrum of ghouls.
beforehand. He's definitely a little more feral.
Your sword. Can I borrow it? Or can you do it?
I'll do it.
And assuming that they'll just step away.
They will absolutely just step back. She'll step back and she'll like reach down and put a hand on the other one's shoulder and kind of like pull him back. And he sort of just like scampers away. He looks confused. Like, why are they letting you forward? And you could go down the line and ensure these corpses will not rise again. And she watches this whole time, almost kind of shaking. She looks at Easy in the hand on his neck.
I'm just gonna go to the throne that he was sitting at. Just take a seat.
It's nasty.
The smell in here is overwhelming. Like, this is...
He's like going off.
You threw up just from Clade's walking up to you. This is 3 times worse than that.
This is where he was sweating.
Any cool stuff? Any neat, like a scepter or a crown?
There's a spinal
Clade's-
column.
He doesn't have a scepter or a crown. He does have some cool stuff.
Huh?
He certainly has collected a small stash of things back behind his throne.
Ooh.
And as you look back there, you can see he has a assortment of oddities, weird little blades and saps, most of which he's collected, a couple of which look like they've been made since the collapse, more shanks than proper daggers, as well as a pile of oddments and trinkets that he has taken in his almost little miniature little dragon's hoard. And it's honestly quite impressive. He's got a pretty bulging sack. It's like a knapsack more than a purse, filled with coin. Hundreds upon hundreds of copper and silver pieces that they must have raided from somewhere. Some main stash. So they found the accounting office or something, because they have filled a sack full of this. This sack is like several bulk of copper and silver coins.
That's a lot of bulk.
I mean, I can carry it.
You're just gonna drag it over to Trey.
We can also transfer it to the other sack. Does the other sack bulk change the one that we got in the laundry room? The rucksack.
Yeah,
that
you could
big-
put
Yeah.
cash in there. That's fine.
Yeah. I don't know if
You guys are gonna need to like, find a coin star. I think is like your primary
Yeah.
directive unless you want to pay in pennies.
What was
for
it? The
everything
meta
close to your
bag?
life. The meta bag. Oh, we gotta get the meta bags back in here.
I'm gonna approach the half orc ghoul. I'm gonna pull out the kukri. Hey, if you ever get tired of the ravenous hunger, I'm not religious myself, but Pharasma will take you back if you just do it yourself.
I'm not that much of a religious sort, but I'm a God-fearing woman enough to know not to touch anything with her symbol on in this state.
Clades was doing just fine with it.
How's he now?
Dead.
I'm not one to claim to ken how gods work. He may be her hand, I don't know. I'm not touching it.
If you ever feel you need to pass on, there's a Pharasman cleric on the other side. Could always introduce you.
It's hard to deal with. This hunger, I don't really know how to explain it. I don't even feel I know how wrong this is. This form, I should hate this, but I can't. Even now just standing here, all I want to do is rip into those bodies that you've cut apart, and I will the second you leave.
They're
It's
yours.
the only thing I can think of. Even talking is hard. It's like I don't have room to even process this. Keep that, it's magic. That's why Clades liked it so much. I thought it was funny. Having something of the Grey Ladies. His state, all our states. It's probably pretty good at killing ghouls. I imagine that's what it's designed for.
Most likely. We'll leave you to it. As long as you avoid the cult
Why
directly.
sparing us? If
No
Clades
reason.
doesn't return, I know he didn't stand down. Neither did most of his boys.
No, they're dead.
Do you want us not to spare you? Do you want to
I just want...
live in?
I don't know, I just can't understand it.
I don't seek unnecessary violence.
I really don't feel like getting into another fight right away.
Even given what we are, you'd show us mercy.
Is it mercy?
I don't know. I don't claim to understand this place. Nor people I don't know. But
And she just sort of looks you up and down. Her eyes kind of linger in a couple of your big scars.
you look Belkson. You work by need and honor. And I hate undead about as much as God of symbols stamped into that blade. Doesn't seem like your kind, our kind. Just leave me here. But again, I don't know you.
We don't know ourselves.
All right, you're not gonna kill me. Leave, please. I wanna... Just leave.
We'll just walk out.
Again,
I
it's
don't
a
want to
very-
stay in that room longer than
Yeah,
I need
very
to.
easy request for all of you to honor. Again, standing in this room is someone like it's hard not to gag. Yes.
Before we turn around, as we're turning around, I kind of take an extended couple seconds still looking at them with that, like, kind of angry itch in the back of my mind to pull out the sword. But in as much pain and anger as I kind of am at the current situation, I also kind of realize I'm not in the position to really want to start another fight. So I sat there thinking about trying to fight them and
Considered
then
it.
just turn around and leave.
As you're all very happy to be rid of the scent, the stench of this chamber. Again, it's like what she said, it's almost difficult for you to organize a thought in there. It's so putrid. Except for one of you. You were in this room before, Marius. It's the same smell. And it should be absolutely vile. a level of sickening you would have thought possible before you came to this asylum. While you linger, while you look at this orc woman, and you think about doing something, you notice this smell doesn't bother you. The smell of rotting, desiccated flesh of your fellow man in this pool. The smell of fresh blood as the heads are removed from the casualties of the last fight. It's not sickening. It almost makes you hungry. And that's where we're going to end today's session
Oh.
of Strange Aeons. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for being here. This show will continue next week, next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, right here at twitch.tv/UGT show. Same time, same place. The end of this chapter is rapidly approaching, and there is an entire adventure beyond this asylum waiting for us if we survive it. But if you want more in the meantime, we have another Pathfinder show on Mondays where we trade seats. Sully's gonna be over here, trying her hardest to run her NPCs as much as insane psychopaths as she runs Kemi here.
Yeah.
As is a weirdo, and I love him. She's running Malevolence, which we're also getting pretty deep into, and I'm over there. I'm playing on that. Another Pathfinder 2nd edition adventure, one level higher than we are. We'll catch up. We'll get there maybe.
You
I'm
could
not
give
sure.
it to us right now.
I don't know if we're going to outpace Malevolence. We'll see. And this one isn't technically UGT, but I got one bonus if you want another one beyond that, because on Thursday evening, I'm going to be running the second part of a two-shot for our friends over at Sirenscape, one of our oldest sponsors that is responsible for all of the soundscapes, all the sound effects, and the ambiance in the background of every single one of these streams. Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be over at twitch.tv/Sirenscape running Dan, their cool PR guy, Jason Bowman, one of the head writers for the Pathfinder game that we're playing, who had the audacity to say, "What do you mean I don't get to start with a striking and we're level 4? My brother, you made the wealth by level table. I don't know what to tell you. You wrote this." And some other real cool folk over there. They're exploring an old mine shaft that's less spooky and more, well, I can't even say more deadly after this session. This is about as touch and go as it comes. We've had a couple of real sketchy fights, but I think this one was definitely real up there. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Thanks for being here. Enjoy your weekends and stay safe, everyone. Stay sane.